Welcome back to the Box to Box podcast.
This is episode 104, and Italy misses another World Cup, and that's 3 in a row. What a nightmare for Italians.
And the president of the Italian Federation, Gravina, is officially out. Is this the beginning of the Italian Revolution?
And we give our solutions to the problems.
All that and more in the Box to Box podcast.
Andiamo.
You ain't going home,
Your
bro.
Honor, I'm sorry. Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Ours are on the pitch, and Bangula starts our next. Bangula, bro.
I'm a dragao. Is this dragao?
Oh my God.
I'm a...
That's the...
49.
We need some numbers over here.
49.
He 49? No, that's
already a first win.
Well, that's crazy.
It's a dark day, gentlemen. It's a dark week.
We have to give ourselves time to compose ourselves. If we did the podcast right after that cucking ritual of a stream that we had.
That would have been just yelling.
Yeah.
Honestly. I don't even know what we could have said of value.
No logical thoughts.
No
would have
logical
said.
thought.
So what? Okay, so let's go through first what on that day, the emotions
timeline.
on that day, the timeline.
The timeline.
Where it all
Because
began.
for me, on that
The scene
day,
of the crime.
as soon as we left,
First 48.
the stream, it was instantly in my mind. I was angry. I was angry at the players.
Where
I
are
was
you
angry at
starting
the managers.
after the stream?
5 stages.
There's like before the stream too, bro. It was like we went through the whole emotional.
But they were
roller
there
coaster.
with us. They were there with us during that chapter. Let's go through the parts that they weren't there. I just got angry as the day progressed after that. And my anger turned away from the players and the managers. It wasn't about the players or the managers. And that's my take. I just got angry on that day.
I you're lucky, bro. You don't live that far from the studio, bro.
I went bro, I was down the street from your house.
Oh, okay. So I live like 50 minutes away from the studio. And also, I
couldn't go home after
it
that.
It even got worse, but whatever. We'll talk about that after, okay? I drive 50 minutes. 50 minutes, I'm in my head, bro.
Yeah.
How the fuck did Italy lose the
a lot
World
of
Cup?
thinking in
Full
the
conversations
traffic.
with yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
bro. I'm like, how's this possible, bro? We lost to Bosnia,
I'm not going to say I was texting and driving. I'm not going to admit that. But I was consuming a lot of content during that ride. I was just looking through Twitter. I was getting angry and angry.
I didn't know. I didn't know whether to ignore it or like just listen to another podcast. Maybe watch
it was
not watch a
impossible.
YouTube video, but like listen to a YouTube video in the car about something completely different. Because it hit like a train right after. Because there's the realization that slowly starts. Bro, we're not gonna be in it for 4 years. You know what I mean? And that's a chance to even make it.
It was like I wouldn't say I was shocked because I know going into the game, it was never 100% chance of going through. It never is with this Italian team, right? So it's like I wasn't as confident as I thought I would be, but I was more confident than versus Sweden 8 years prior. I was more confident. Like I was like,
No.
okay, well, listen, they got over the first hurdle. I think that kind of got the monkey off their back a little bit. Maybe they have a bit more confidence going into this game. I mean, after the result, it was kind of just realizing
But
what do we do now?
It's the smiling and the joking after we get Bosnia and like that was a perfect summary.
It
of
all
the whole
added
situation.
up. It all added up.
Like, why do players like Vicario, Di Marco, who else was laughing in that fucking
Di Lorenzo,
video?
I think maybe could have been
Like
there.
these three. Okay, let's just use these three as like scapegoats right now. What the fuck have you done in your career to deserve laughing at your opponent?
They were
You
laughing.
are-
They were happy.
Exactly. Why are you? You are nobodies in the sport. You have accomplished nothing. You are nobodies. I don't know why these guys think that they're.
But they were
Good.
happy that Bosnia went through because Bosnia was, in theory, an easier game than Wales. Let's not
doesn't-
microanalyze it. You were saying before the stream, what the fuck's a Bosnia?
Yeah, you were.
Bro, the issue is,
You're saying we're
I'm
gonna
a fan,
easily
bro.
win.
We have expectations. We are linked to those World Cups in the past, bro. These players were not there when Italy was good.
Okay, but you contribute by doing that, and we all contribute to the reason why the players feel that way about.
I
drafting
agree.
a
They're all
Bosnia.
shit now. No, we don't celebrate shit with Italy, bro.
No,
Nothing.
We don't take nothing for granted.
Yeah,
But I
nothing.
was like that before the game. All three of us were. You weren't.
Bro, it's because I'm too used to winning with Michael Carrick at the wheel right now. So
Bro.
it's like, I thought that would
how
have
do
so
you- how do you
What did I
vibe?
tell you? When I walked in, I said I've never been this stressed in terms of footballing like in the past like fucking 20 years. Like I haven't felt that type of stress because in the past ones, like I felt a little bit more confident in it. Bosnia, obviously, out of the three, I would say they're better than North Macedonia and they're worse than Sweden. But we came into that game with too much, obviously the expectations there, and we were riding off of that win that just happened.
Yeah, thinking
So,
that
like,
everything was good.
Everything was good. Everything was smooth. But in reality, like, what could possibly change in a matter of 3 days?
And don't get it twisted.
Nothing.
Even if we made the World Cup, we would have gotten piped down.
Yeah.
Every
Oh, yeah,
single-
100%. 100%. And that's what I said, bro. At the end of the day, like, Bosnia has more competent wingers than Northern Ireland. So it showed that as soon as somebody could attack us back, the weaknesses were all there.
But that was odd to me. That was obvious in the Northern Ireland game.
So obvious.
And we were saying this, that the only reason why we looked so dominant versus Northern Ireland was because they just
They're not
had
our
nothing.
level.
They
They're
had
not-
nothing
yeah.
to compete. They were playing with
Exactly.
youth players.
I agree. It's there's multiple factors to what happened in that game, and honestly, we could look at Gattuso, poor man selection. You could look at the players, just mentally didn't seem like they were there, and I think that Italy shirt's a little too heavy for a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
We don't have that same level of confidence amongst the whole squad, but at the end of the day, when we look at what happened. If we made the World Cup, do you think any changes would have been made? I
No.
personally don't think
No, it
so.
would have been a band-aid.
It would have just been a band-aid. We would have gotten probably either grouped or a round of 16 or whatever, quarterfinal, getting sliced and diced. We might have even lost to Canada, might have even lost to Switzerland. You don't know.
The issues are there's so many issues,
There's so
and you
many
could point them into two types of issues. There's micro issues where Gattuso's team selection and stuff
Yeah,
like that
exactly.
was so off that
It was a game
maybe-
issue and then a system issue.
we should have beaten Bosnia. If you fix the micro issues, we would have beaten Bosnia. Would have been at the World Cup. But the macro issues are still persisting.
100%.
Where if the micro's going well, then the macro won't fix itself. So you kind of need the micro to go wrong for the macro to fix.
Yeah.
I was explaining it to my mom because casuals that just like enjoy watching Italy, grew up watching Italy, don't understand what's the problem. For them, it's just like, oh, these players are just soft. Like they just don't want to win, you know? But it's not-
unlucky.
Yeah, exactly. They're unlucky. Oh, yeah. And I was explaining it like, if you make the World Cup and you get grouped, there's a 0% chance for change. Okay. And we've seen that no change has come the last times we've made World Cups. But I said structurally, the change has only a possibility of coming if you embarrass yourself like we did again for the third time. I said that percent chance might jump from 0 if you make it to, let's say, a 5% chance of complete restructuring if you don't qualify. So in a way, you can take the positives in this negative that, like you guys said, if we make the World Cup, no change definitely comes and we get grouped. Versus now we have a 5% chance or 10% chance of a complete restructuring.
Yeah.
The issue is our bar is so in hell right now that making the World Cup is deemed a success.
Yeah, that's also
I
an
know.
issue. That's a systemic issue that we've kind of just lowered that bar. But even at that, we still can't get over the hurdle. At the end of the day, that first miss versus Sweden, to me personally, that was a bigger shock because it felt like we almost had a birthright to the World Cup. It was a guarantee that we would make the World Cup. But the longer it takes for us to get to the World Cup, the worse the losses
Oh
are.
yeah, it's like a generational.
It is a generational
issue
kind
at
of
that
mental
point.
It's like in
block.
hockey, they
mental
say
block.
like you get a monkey on your back. And then it's
Yeah.
it's harder to get the monkey off your back.
I
the
don't know
more-
if that's just a hockey saying. I think that's just a regular life saying.
It's
I don't
used in
know if
hockey.
Europeans use that.
It's probably a North American.
Like
Yeah.
no football player.
Actually-
Football players don't do this. Like they don't do a celebration of taking the monkey off their back.
yeah.
You actually just reminded me because I wanted to mention it. We could get more, like we could analyze the game and whatever like after, but I wanted to mention because I saw the clips on Twitter.
Went viral. How many views?
Okay,
went
yeah,
viral?
we need to address that. We need to address this.
Obviously, like it's all banter at the end of the day.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we were joking around. Obviously, we wanted Italy to do well, but this thing about like us not being Italian for some reason is like I don't know. It's crazy to me.
Don't
because-
feel the need to. I was
Yeah.
thinking about this.
No,
I said,
no, I
don't
I don't
feel
care,
the
like-
need to justify yourself, your level of Italianness to people out there that are just misinformed. Because at the end of the day, like it's the court of public opinion. They'll always
For
make
sure.
their own opinions, and as long as we know what it means to us,
Yeah.
being Italian is not the language you speak. It's not the place you were born. It's not the place you live. Being Italian is your culture. It's the way you
Yeah,
feel.
exactly.
And I know the way I feel when I watch Italian football, and when I'm a Serie A fan, and my day-to-day life is all Italian.
Yeah.
So I know what makes me Italian.
Yeah.
But there's also like this. A lot of the people commenting are pure like they're let's say like Portuguese people from Portugal. You'll never understand, and it's all right. I won't understand your POV of being like from the country that you were born in. You kind of that makes sense. But like as Italian Canadians, you'll never understand our
Our
connection.
our connection. That's a good point.
But-
you need to be in our niche to know our niche.
Exactly.
Like a Canadian Venezuelans or Canadian, like they'll understand because they have that connection back to their motherland, but they're not actually like there, you know. But
all it is that, well, the thing is that the reason why I want to bring it up is also because like sometimes you guys say like obviously I feel more Canadian, Italian, and that's fine. Like you could flip flop, we're both at the end of the day. So am I. Like I'm Italian Canadian, but the thing is that like there's nothing. You can't be more Italian. Like we're all equally as Italian. Whether I live there or you haven't, like it doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, it's the traditions. You guys have the lineage is all Italian. Like you are Italian. So and I see this even with maybe New York Italians that okay maybe have different ways of showing their way of being Italian.
they've become a variation.
Exactly.
Of Italian.
It's just a variation.
There
It's a
is a
different
connection though
perspective.
between generations because like New Yorkers are further.
They're deep.
They're fourth, fifth generation Italians. You lose every step. You lose the culture. I lost the culture more than my father and my father's father. Like you lose it more every generation. You become more Canadian over time. Like I'm
More assimilated.
Like
at the end of the day.
my dad lived in Italy, moved here. My mom was born here though, so she like automatically. My dad probably brought over more Italian culture, but like
exactly.
our day-to-day life is Italian.
Yes.
It's Italian.
We grew up in that culture. We experienced the same thing that I'm sure a lot of Italians experience in Italy, just in a different language. At the end of the day, it's the exact same people that came here. It's the exact same culture that was brought over. Communities were built with the Italian culture in mind. So at the end of the day, yes, and I could tell by the comments like who watches us, who doesn't watch.
Yeah,
us.
people.
I'm actually
people-
surprised that people were answering
People were
the
answering,
comments
saying, "Listen,
in
these
a
guys
nice
are Italian
manner.
Canadian. They're like, oh, these guys probably don't even speak a lick of Italian.
it's-
Like, no, they go on the
that's
podcast and they speak
that's
Italian.
when
Like,
people don't like
They don't
French
understand.
people from France don't understand being like the North American side of having two cultures.
But this
It's
is-
like they don't understand.
this is a whole phenomenon though of an immigrant culture as well, finding like it's that trying to
almost
find that
where you
identity.
belong.
That
Yeah.
because we'll never be accepted. There's instances you'll never be fully accepted as fully Canadian, and we'll never be accepted as fully Italian.
You guys feel Canadian?
Yeah, to an
I
extent.
feel Canadian.
I feel Canadian in the sense
I
that
don't feel Canadian.
No,
It-
but
it's-
here's the thing.
But what
It's-
is
we're-
Canadian?
Sorry, not Canadian. I don't feel Quebecois. We grew up
Yes.
in a subculture of Canada, which is French Canadians. I don't feel Quebecois one bit. When I meet a Quebecer,
Quebec's in Canada. It's like
but we
yes,
live-
but
there's-
it's a
and
subculture.
Montreal's not really like
a good
Montreal's
representation.
like a disassociated from Quebec, like the areas of Montreal that we live in. It's like we are more close to Ontario and stuff like that than to Quebec.
I have a question though. Are you proud of living in Canada?
that I'm
course.
definitely
That makes
proud
you
of.
Canadian, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's our home. Like we live in Montreal. Yes, it's Quebecois. Like whatever.
We don't need to justify
Yeah.
ourselves
No,
to
we
these
don't.
No,
fucking
but I,
dirty
because
rats.
I wanted
but
to
I
address
think
it
it's
because-
good though to give people background, just
Yes.
any box-to-box fan background to like what our culture is, because I'm sure it's confusing.
Yeah.
Who are these people that live in a French-speaking place in a Canadian in a English-speaking country that are Italian influenced? Like, bro, it must be super confusing.
Does it make me more Italian if my grandparents stayed in Italy 3 years longer?
Exactly.
And my dad was
Exactly.
born in Italy. Am I more Italian now? Like, I would still be celebrating the same. I would still be celebrating the cultures the same, speaking the same language, eating the same food, sharing the same religious values as well. Like, there's things that have transcended space, that have transcended location.
Whether you're born there or not, you're still the same. You're still following the traditions.
But unfortunately, I think we are kind of tied into that Italo-American subculture of like people say fifth or sixth generation Italian. Like you find out you only have 1% Italian. You take a needle, you take a drop of my blood. You take a drop of someone from Italy. It is
Well, I
the
don't know.
same
You're
blood.
from Sicily. I don't know.
You take it from it's the same thing. But the point
Exactly,
stands. The point
100%.
stands. It's at the end of the day, we are of a later wave of immigration.
Yes.
I know specifically for us, we're a later wave of immigration to Canada. There's people that have immigrated in the 1890s, 1920s, 1930s. Like a lot of us, like Ferms, it's been 13 years.
Yeah,
like
exactly, yeah.
people were saying like, oh, these guys aren't Italian, the first thing I thought of was like, Ferms, you better bring your fucking passport or something, because it's like fucking crazy
But-
that the people are having this conversation.
My family line didn't exist here until the 50s. Both my sides didn't exist in Canada until the 50s.
the late 60s for me, almost the 70s.
By the way, just to clear, Pala did not have an Irish flag on. Just
yeah, I couldn't believe that either. That was the dumbest shit.
Comments are trolling. Some of
I
the
know
comments are
I'm
funny.
colorblind. I know I'm colorblind.
But you could tell.
It was
But
definitely
I'm
red.
sorry, in real life, that
red.
shit was red.
Yeah.
On the camera, the saturation did make it look orange.
Yeah, no, I get it. I
Those
saw
were
the stream
funny.
after. I saw the stream after. Like, does he know that it's an Irish flag?
I still saw it kind of red though.
I saw it.
No, I kind of see what they're talking
No,
about.
but
It
it's
kind of
it's
looked
an
saturated.
orange.
It looked orange.
No, but this is like
There's
an
a
off
saturation
red.
on our
But this
camera.
was it was a faded red.
But in real life, it's red.
Yeah.
But I was just laughing because it does look like it's an Ireland flag. So
Anyways, to summarize everything, we could move on to soccer, to football, whatever, soccer soon, calcio soon. The point is, whether you're third generation Italian or first generation or you're living in Italy right now, you're still Italian. And the fact that we're trying to break up these things saying, oh, you're not Italian because you live in Canada. You're not Italian that you live in New York. This relates back to football. Like, at the end of the day, you're losing those people that will support the Italian national team
Yeah.
because you're separating them. You're segregating them. People in Canada that grew up with Italian values should still follow the Italian national team. They should still go for them. And telling them that they're not part of that
it's like saying you can't support Manchester United if you're not from Manchester.
Exactly.
It's stupid.
So automatically you're
They're
just gonna have
gatekeeping.
less
Yeah.
people support. So it's just
I
bad for
actually had a
Italians
lot of
in
people.
general.
I had a lot of people DM me that they support the Italian national team and they're not even Italian.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Good for them.
it's
Yeah.
who you relate to the most, who you identify with the most.
It's
And
sport. That's sport in
it's
general.
But one final thing though, before we move on, it's like there were people saying like, oh, these guys don't show up for Canada like this.
Oh, we will.
Oh, trust me.
But-
Show up
Brother,
to
we
the
haven't
World
had an
Cup.
opportunity yet.
I'm
It's-
there.
You think in 2006 they were showing Canada games on TSN? They were showing that shit. No,
Before Alfonso Davies,
that's the
Canadian
reality of the
soccer
situation.
was really not. It wasn't even you. It wasn't
Rosario.
even like shown to you. Like it wasn't even like there.
It was amateur. It was amateur level. But you better fucking believe this summer it's 10 toes fucking down, Canada down. That's what it is, unfortunately. And even if Italy was in the World Cup, it's not
I'd
that
be
I'm not going to
supporting
support one and not the other. I could be proud of both nations. I could be proud of both teams. I will
For sure.
support both teams. But at the end of the day, Italy's not in the World Cup. Canada's there. I'll be painting my fucking face red because at the end of the day, we will be supporting them as well. So,
And if you say that you can't support two nations at a World Cup, fuck you.
well, yeah, exactly. As if dual nationality
Yeah.
doesn't fucking exist.
I'm sorry you were born in the same place where your fucking whole lineage is. It's not
I'm sorry, both of your countries that you're from are just shit at soccer, bro. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Like, yeah, it was just like, yeah, you can't assume that we're not going to be supporting Canada too, bro. Like, 100%.
Well, 12 told
And
now.
yeah, this
I'm
summer
gonna
it's
go two
soccer.
more.
Bro.
This summer it's fucking soccer.
It went
real.
from culture to
Yeah,
soccer
it's
now.
soccer.
It's football
What it is.
after international break
Yeah.
finishes, then it goes into soccer, and then maybe culture comes back one
Yeah.
day.
One day.
But yeah.
Let's talk now how to bring back culture.
No. Well, Gravina,
Yeah.
we're doing this podcast. Gravina resigned.
Yeah.
So some positive news to come out of this. Basically, if I'm trying to find a comparison, Gravina, if you've ever watched Star Wars, it's like Lord Palpatine. It's like
I was thinking worse, but yeah, we'll go Lord Palpatine.
like he might be Satan reincarnated.
You're getting closer.
Something like that, yeah.
So, but the issue is, we cut off the head of the snake. We don't know if it's just gonna regenerate another. Like, we don't know if it's Medusa. That's the issue.
it's a starfish, bro.
Yeah.
You cut off a leg, another one grows back.
Yeah, like we don't know if the guy coming in is just gonna be Gravina 2.0.
But
you
we
know?
were talking the way he got out. Like I just heard this new news right now, but like the way he came out to the microphones after that game,
Yeah.
reconfirming
he
Gattuso.
thought that he was gonna be fine.
He thought he was untouchable. This guy is talking about like, oh, we'll fix all the issues around me. Brother, you are the issue.
Yeah.
What are you talking about around you?
I told Gattuso and Buffon I want them to stay. Motherfucker, who said you were going to
For real. I think we
who are
gotta
you
go
to give it?
deeper. Like we gotta look.
And the last half court heave.
And he starts attacking other sports. He starts saying football is the only thing that's
Considered professional.
That's considered professional, brother. Thank God we have Yannick Sinner
Yeah.
cooking in other sports. Thank God the baseball
rugby
Italian
team.
team is doing good. The
Thank
rugby
God
team.
Kimi Antonelli is the best fucking F1
Exactly.
driver right now.
And the Olympics, Italian
Fucking
Italians
showed up.
have always showed up. Instead, football has remained the way it is because of him.
because of ignorance.
And it's
Because of
and
incompetence.
you know, just very very macro, it's a shame because Italy as a nation, I think, is turning the page. and like with Meloni and just in general, I think Italy is moving in a more positive direction.
Oh yeah.
And it's a shame that football's trailing that.
Left behind.
Because calcio is like at the core. When you think of Italy, you think of the food and you think of soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two big things you think about when you think of Italy. So
It's actually a saying. We're good at making good food and playing good soccer. Like that's
Well, we lost the good soccer.
I know.
Hopefully, we don't.
So now
lose
we're
the good
only
tennis
good at
though.
making food.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the page is definitely turning, I think, on it. And I think a lot of people are fed up.
let's lift the entire nation, football included.
But I mean, Ferms, you could tell me what you think about this. But like, Italian culture is very adamant on putting people down a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Like they are very punishing.
They're big criticizers.
Big
and everything.
critics, massive critics. So
Drama queen.
So unless you're already at the top and still or performing or on the way up, you won't necessarily get the public support. Like tennis was really not really a sport in the sense in Italy until we started like giving youth a chance and working our way up. Then we start supporting them.
But
Yeah.
tennis is big. Tennis has been big in Italy for.
Tennis has been massive.
Tennis is you can correct me, but I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of Italians play tennis.
When I was young, I played tennis and calcio.
Yeah, but now because Italian football has been just beaten to the ground, like no one even wants to try to prop it up. Everyone just has a complaint. Everyone just has an excuse,
Yes.
and that's just the culture of it. So I think that it becomes extremely difficult to end up reforming, end up doing anything because people at the end of the day they just want to criticize. They want to criticize. They don't want to
But
solve anything.
It's you need to start like Bastoni during the game. Yes, obviously stupid
boneheaded.
mistake. One of the
Boneheaded.
worst, like one of the most consequential red cards probably in the sport's history. But you also should not use that as an opportunity to tear him down to the point where he may never recover in his playing career.
But he does.
A lot of
he
players
does deserve critique.
sure,
criticism,
critique,
yes.
sure, but we all at this table, sitting down right now, we all realize that if Italy are to come back, Bastoni's one of the building blocks of them coming
No.
back.
He has.
I
to be.
disagree.
He,
has to be.
bro, we were all undoubtedly
Yeah,
saying he's a top 5
ability-wise.
center back in the world.
He will not be there when we make the next World
He's
Cup.
going to be 32, whatever, bro. There's players right now that the
Chiellini
shelf
won at
life,
37.
the shelf life of players right now is getting even longer and longer, bro. 32, he should be a completely fine footballer.
I agree.
I'm just saying
completely.
our core, our football team core.
Yes, but Bastoni will be a building block. We should right now be, instead of trying to tear him down, and this is the issue with Italian rhetoric and media, is they try and tear him down and destroy him mentally, where after the game we're like, oh, he's leaving to Barca, he's done in Italy.
You
that
know.
should not be a thing.
But that's a consequence of knowing how bad it'll be in Italy when something like this happens. They don't even want to look. They would rather sell him for peanuts now. They would rather sell him for 15 mil because of it's a pride thing. We don't want this embarrassment here in Italy. Sell him for nothing to Barcelona. That's the
I
type
don't-
of rhetoric.
It's more like the Juve and Milan fans are probably thinking like that, but the Inter's not
Everyone
thinking like
is.
Everyone is.
Don't,
Even
don't
Inter-
bunch
the-
Milan and
No,
Juve
no,
fans
but I'm
'cause
not.
they're
I'm
rivals.
saying
It's
like
not about
selling.
rivalry.
It is,
Inter
but
fans
it's
are
not
not saying
about
sell
rivalry.
Bastoni.
There is Inter fans saying it, but those are
Yes.
those are reactionary. Those are people that are casuals. Those are people that don't understand the sport.
Right now, Bastoni should be getting supported. This is not a.
No,
this is
what the fuck?
No,
are
there
we
is time for
talking about?
criticism.
Come
There's
on.
time
no,
for criticism.
okay. Obviously,
This
you
is the time for
critique.
criticism.
You
Tell them.
critique. You're going to ruin a player just based off of trying to tear him down because he knows he made a mistake,
Off of
bro. He
pride.
knows
Bro,
all this shit,
there's a
bro.
difference
We're
here.
not, bro. Varvar, stop acting like these guys are fucking clouds, bro. Like they're so delicate, bro. You're allowed to. You fuck up, you should take the brunt of it.
100%. But he knows it's not like Bastoni's out
But in
here
your-
saying like, oh, you know, it's because it's not like he pulled a Gravina where he said, oh, it's not my fault, it's everyone else's fault, bro. He knows he fucked up, bro. He's not an idiot.
But you should be shitting on him for a little bit.
So you're
Okay,
gonna
but
tear
it's
someone
done.
when they're already down. You're gonna tear them down even more.
Like what
But
is
because
there-
it's
what is there
fun.
else to do now?
Okay, so if my kid if I come home, I leave my kid for 2 minutes, and I come home and my toddler just destroyed my whole fucking house.
There's a
I should
difference
look at him
between a
and be like,
28-year-old and a toddler, bro.
you know you
Yeah.
you know you. I don't know about Bastoni.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
you
but
fucked.
see, but
You know you
that
fucked
type of-
up.
That type of thinking is the problem.
Oh, fuck off,
no,
bro.
It's not a fuck off
Fuck off.
situation. That's the type of thinking.
Bro,
that
I'm sorry.
As soon as the game
It's
is
been
over,
2 days. It's been 2 days.
Yes,
let's go coddle him and maybe one more day.
It's not coddling. It's you want to cut
You
his
wanna
fucking
coddle
balls
him.
off, and now you want to leave him on the side of the road now.
Yeah. He's a rat, bro. He's a rat.
But
you want to leave him there to die,
you
bro. Game by being a bitch, and
you
now
guys
he
ripping him
doubled down.
now. He has been ripped. He has that. Like, I'm not saying now we have to put him back on that top 5
Yes.
pedestal. He definitely needs to be criticized. But now, at the end of the day,
there's
you
two-
criticizing
look,
him
there's
will
two
not
separate
change
things.
Italy not making the World Cup.
The ability is there. Bastoni's a very fucking good player. He's a
Yes.
very good defender. He's part of the problem, though. You can't
No.
deny. Oh my god,
He's part of the
11
solution.
brother. Yeah, maybe in the future, but
So
right
look
now,
forward.
But this is the
we're
thing,
looking
he's
at
got
the
2
problem.
days.
Up. He knows how long you want to shit on him. There's a fucking cap shout. Oh, after 30 days, no more shitting on Bastoni.
It's the first time
What
I'm
do you mean
talking
it's
about
been 2
him?
days, bro?
It's the
Yeah,
first time I'm talking
I get
about
it,
him.
but this discourse has been happening since literally the final, since the 40th minute has started. I understand, but again, that's the type of thinking that I think is a problem in Italy. Is what we're looking at Bastoni. He's the problem. He was the problem in that game.
No,
he was
that's
that
not what I'm
thinking.
saying. I
That
don't think
thinking
that's
was the
what Paula's
problem.
saying either.
I'm
We're
not saying that.
In fact, he
You
actually
just said he was a problem.
he was part of the problem.
he's
Yes.
part- I
The
don't know-
pro-
I
I'll
didn't
tell you
mention he's part of the problem.
Every single player on that team was a problem. Gattuso was a problem. Gravina is a problem.
Yeah.
Infrastructure is a problem.
But-
Everybody's a problem.
But I'm
Bastoni
getting-
just emphasized that problem because he got a red.
Yeah.
Like an idiot.
I agree.
And previously he's done things like the flopping and celebrating that also
Done things. It was one up. Okay, but
that's just bad for Italian football. Because people were watching that game and they're saying,
But you're seeing-
neutrals were watching that game saying, is this really what Italian football has
That
become?
game hurt Italy. That game hurt Italian
It
football.
did, bro. At
It
the end of the day,
did. It
that's
did.
when the eyes are there.
again, that's
He's
a
part of the
systemic
problem.
issue.
It's not
It's a
completely
systemic
his fault.
issue.
Celebrating after doing a flop is not systemic. That's a player decision.
Again, and I've shown you guys, there have been many players that have come out and said that they've done the exact same thing. So do not think
And
that
there-
this problem
we have
started with
to
Bastoni.
separate. Stop.
So just
Yes.
because
separate,
Yes.
separate right now on this topic when it comes to development and stuff like
That's a
that.
whole
It's a
different
whole different
issue.
topic. Separate club football with international football. When a player puts on an Italy kit, all club allegiances should not matter. What he did for the club should not matter. It does not matter.
It's the type of player
Are
he
we
is.
trying to build the Italian national team, or are we trying to have the fucking fiercest rivalries?
Bro,
I don't
my
understand,
solutions have nothing to do with the actual team. The team-
Exactly.
The team could be Bosnia's starting
I
11.
don't give a fuck about.
And it won't change if it's Italy or Bosnia.
Could not care less. Bastoni flopped against Juve. It does not make a difference at all. When he puts on an Italy kit, will Bastoni be part of the solution, or is he going to keep causing problems? We have to right now, as Italian fans. When he plays Juventus, you can hate Bastoni all you want, call him a fucking ratazzo di merda all you want. It doesn't matter. I couldn't care
It's
less.
not about that.
It's
But
really not.
when he's putting
you're not
on an
understanding
Italian
our point.
national team kit, you have to support Bastoni.
I supported
supported
it. We
him.
all did. I
So-
don't understand your
Except
point.
for
Right
DiMarco.
now,
I
do you
support
want
everyone but
Bastoni to do best in his career, or do you want to tear him down to
I
a
do.
point where he has no return?
I do, but I could recognize that he did not do that in the most
100%.
important.
Yeah,
100%.
but now the conversation is he should never be called up again.
No, but that's
No one's
stupid.
saying-
We're
no
not
one's
saying
saying
no
that.
one said no one said
No,
that.
we
one's
are
saying
not
that.
saying
That's
that.
crazy.
On this couch, we are not saying
No,
that.
but I'm saying that is what's happening in Italy.
Well,
that is what's
that's
happening
just
in Italy.
reactionary and
You
ignorance.
want to build. I'm personally of the belief that there's a healthy balance between supporting when somebody's down and
Yeah.
also there's a time for criticism.
Yes.
Because if you don't criticize whatsoever,
Oh,
then you
that's-
build
you-
very.
wait, no,
Again,
he's
you
getting
think that
it.
he
He's
has
getting
not?
it.
He got extreme He got criticism that probably 0.00001% of footballers have ever gotten in their life.
Sure, but you get the criticism. You close your phone. You go to fucking. You take a 3-day vacation.
You
get
know
off
it's
your
not
phone.
that simple, bro. You think
he has to come back to Inter versus Roma
Bro,
every time he touches the
bro,
ball?
we know-
he will
But I'm
get
sorry,
criticized.
I'm sorry.
We know
Why is
damn
he
well-
untouchable? Why is he
we-
untouchable?
That's
It's not
football.
untouchable.
Why is
Why
no
is
one
he
else on
untouchable?
that team getting the criticism? Why isn't
Oh
Moise
my
Keane
God.
getting that type of fucking criticism?
Okay, he
just
scored in the
missed
last 6
fucking-
games.
But he just
Good.
missed a fucking open. I don't care about the last 6 games because I could say the same thing about Bastoni. You don't give a fuck because he said he just got a red card in this game. Keane missed an open fucking point blank range, missed a fucking
but
goal.
you
A red
know,
card is much more. A red card is much more important than a
our,
match.
our job is on the internet. Honestly, being a footballer nowadays, the job is an internet job. Honestly, nowadays, but our job is on the internet. We know that when you get heavy criticism, bro. Yeah, you can close the phone, and we've probably in our career gotten fucking nothing compared to we have gotten nothing compared to what Bastoni's gotten now. You know, closing the phone does not solve anything. You know, it's still there. Like
That's
when
actually
you
a good point. That strengthens. Are you gonna stop telling people to hate us on the internet?
No, you can't tell them to stop hating us, but you
What do
can
you-
also.
what do you do
to
battle that? What do you do to battle that?
There's also people there that does it not help you know that you feel supported during the time that you're down?
So create a good support system around you. Like I said, you can't stop people from hating on Varvar from box to box on the internet. When you do a stupidity, you can't stop people from hating. And like this, in this instant, people were hating on us. We can't stop that. So what do? We stick together. We have a strong support system. We were texting each other about it. Like, that's a very small scale versus Bastoni being probably the biggest scale of hate. But you create a good system around you so that you can bounce back from these situations emotionally.
So we, as Italian fans, should burden him the most we can with negative comments and everything just because he fucked up. Like, I don't understand.
Apply the same thinking to Gravina then. Why is Bastoni untouchable?
Bro, there's difference between three different. Like, he's fucked up 3 World Cups in a row. Like, you can fuck up once. Sure.
I don't like how you're picking and choosing. Oh, we should support him.
Picking and
No, we should
choosing.
shit on this guy.
but
Oh, but
Bastoni-
Cristante though should not make the national team. Oh, but this guy instead.
Cristante does not have the
Everybody is to blame here. It starts from the players that did not beat Bosnia, who is.
That's true.
At the end of the day, on paper, we should always beat them 9 times out of 10. 9 times, bro. They had fucking 30 shots on us. 30. We had fucking like 3 in the first half. It was 11-1. That's not normal. That's just not. It's Bastoni's fault. It's Gattuso's fault on the field that day. It was both of their. It was fucking
Donnarumma's fault.
Donnarumma,
Okay, so
all of
now
them.
looking in
then you
four,
go back up.
now
It's
looking
Gravina's
now
fault, all of them.
looking down
that's a
4
different
years.
thing.
Okay, now looking down 4 years, will Bastoni be there? 100%, he's gonna be there. So now, what do we as fans have to do to make sure that in 4 years' time we are in the best position to make sure that we make the World Cup? You have to support Bastoni. Cristante, I couldn't give a fuck. He's not gonna be there in 4
No,
years.
I don't think you could ask anything for the fans. Like the fans have endured
Yeah.
3 times that
Barber,
the
this
Italy
is-
national team
if
doesn't make the World
Bastoni's
Cup.
not there for all 3, so stop,
Varvar,
stop
Mbappe-
using him as the scapegoat for fucking systemic failures.
No one, he's not. No one.
We're
Who's
not. I
using
don't
that
think
as
you're
a
understanding
scapegoat
what
on
the
this?
fuck
On
you're
this
saying.
Everyone
panel?
you go on social media, it's just Gravina or Bastoni.
we social media or not?
personally on Twitter, I see way more structural. I see way more people talking about the structure
know.
Yeah.
and not the player. Honestly,
But it doesn't
2
mean
days
that
later, I
Bastoni's
don't
not
see
getting
anything
it.
about Bastoni.
You don't see it, but his whole family has to see it. His whole family has to shut down all their
getting
Instagram
tired of
accounts
it.
because they're
That's
getting death
football.
threats.
That's
to be honest.
football.
That's football.
That's football.
Getting death threats is football.
It happened. Why?
No, it's
does
not
England lead a good
acceptable.
national team? Does England have a good system?
They have a fantastic system.
When Saka, Rashford, and Sancho where the fuck missed those penalties,
and that's not
they
football.
got death threats too.
That's not football.
I don't support
condemning
that.
that.
I
Literally,
don't support
it fucking
that.
ruined Rashford after missing all those
I don't
pens.
support
not,
that
yeah.
I whatsoever.
Sancho
but I'm
ruined
saying
them.
every other nation on earth, if Mbappe got a red card in a qualification match,
getting
he would get
criticized.
criticized.
He got criticized in the World Cup, in the Euros because he missed a penalty that got them through that versus Switzerland.
Vinny Jr. is constantly getting criticized for his Brazil tenures. Every big nation has pressure the same as Italy. You cannot
Standards.
change the fan bases. Let's change the system.
But we understand that those other nations are making World Cups, are going deep in tournaments. We are not. We are not.
So why ask more from the fans? Let's talk about the higher ups. Let's talk about the other things.
That's
Fans
the
hating
big
on
issue.
Bastoni are fully like obviously death threats are not acceptable,
That's
but
not acceptable.
they're fully allowed to hate
superficial.
right now.
But it's
They are.
superficial. It's
Just like we're hating on
superficial.
Gravina, we're allowed to hate. There's a lot of problems.
Gravina is at the helm of the problem. Hating on a Bastoni is not attacking the problem.
Bastoni's not
not.
the forefront,
Bastoni is
unfortunately.
He is a
Bastoni
product
is our
of the
best
environment.
player. Like, yes, he fucked up. He's our best player. There's no one in that starting 11 that's even close to Bastoni.
I disagree.
No, there's
Strong.
no one,
Yeah.
not a single player.
Tonali's
Tonali. I would love for him to come to Man United. He's a good player, but Bastoni is a fucking top 3, top 5 center back in the world.
I disagree.
Tonali's not even a top 10 center
center
mid.
backs
I don't know
don't
why we're
change.
talking
Center
about-
backs don't change nothing.
Why
for
are we
national
talking
team.
about Bastoni?
They don't.
Because he's being scapegoated right now.
Not by us.
Not
Personally,
honestly.
I
even
feel
on
like
Twitter,
online.
I've seen.
I don't see that.
He's
either.
being
I don't see that.
scapegoated. Meanwhile, we pulled up on the pitch with fucking Mancini. I'm not seeing nothing about Mancini. I'm not
Mancini
seeing.
played well.
It's not about this singular game.
So what is it about?
That's part of it.
It's
Yes.
a whole fucking thing. Bastoni should be the example for children to
Well,
follow.
he hasn't been.
But Varvar, if Mancini always shows
He
up for
has
Italy,
been. He fucked up one time.
You're giving him untouchable status.
Yeah,
He has
we
done
get it.
nothing in his career. Talk about Baggio being hated after missing the penalty. Now we have a conversation because
He
the guy
should have been
has fucking-
supported.
Well, he didn't, but that's an untouchable guy that we should support. Bastoni
was
has proven
supported.
nothing.
Fuck you.
Just like Mancini,
He
has
wasn't
not-
supported, bro. He was
supported.
torn down.
Bro,
He was torn down, but at the end of the day, time.
David
recovered.
Beckham, bro. David Beckham, bro.
Yeah,
in England,
even
they
David
fucking,
Beckham was a
they
big one.
fucking put him on a fucking.
Do we change?
Spike.
Do we see Baggio differently than other than the best player Italy has ever produced?
Now we do.
Yeah,
It's not now.
But
It's
just-
not now.
it's
It's been 20
revisionism.
years now.
Yeah, it's revisionism. Ask the people after he missed that
Yeah.
penalty what they thought
We
about
weren't there.
Baggio.
Yeah, it's
We weren't there.
reactionary. It was reactionary.
It was
Bro, he
reactionary.
will tell you himself
Anyways,
that it derailed, like kind of derailed his career.
100%. Anyways, you guys are approaching it in a weird way because you're going for the fan base to change. I don't think that's even an option.
You can't.
The
You
fan
can't do
base
that.
is right to be mad right now.
Of
Whether
course
it's
they
at
are.
Bastoni or at
Bring
Gattuso or
them
Gravina.
success. I say bring the fan base success, and you will automatically see more positivity and more tolerance to mistakes.
Yeah, listen, I'm like the hate towards the players, I think is overblown. I do think they deserve criticism. But again, like we said,
No.
missing 3 times in a row is systemic.
Certain players don't deserve.
no, certain
Pick and choose who we hate on.
No,
That's
I don't
crazy.
like
It's
that.
not
Varvar.
picking
Are you
and
a team or
choosing.
are you
They're either
not?
all
I don't
humans
It's
or
not.
not.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I'm-
It's
I'm kind of
unfortunately,
people that lost the
unfortunately,
ball
there's a
there?
lot of players on that fucking team that don't deserve to wear that jersey. But Bastoni is one
are
of them
you
that
to say
deserves
which
to wear
ones
the
are or
jersey.
which ones aren't?
I can tell you right now, without a shadow of a doubt, Bastoni deserves to wear that jersey.
On
But who
ability.
doesn't?
On ability, on everything.
On ability.
Everything. Bro,
This is-
everything. He's
I don't know.
accomplished
I didn't see it
everything
going
there
this way.
is.
This is
me
a
neither.
stupid point,
This
in
is-
my opinion. Because a guy like Mancini shows up. I despise Mancini in Serie A. For the Italian, once he puts on an Italian kid, he cares more than every
That's
other
a
player on that
fucking
pitch.
lie because he's done it multiple times where he's fucked up for Italy.
I'm not picking and
in the
choosing
Euros,
it.
he was
I'm not-
garbage.
I'm not picking and
What
choosing.
Euros?
I think
The Euros he didn't play
everybody.
at?
He was fucking garbage.
A guy like Mancini gives his heart. I'm not gonna pick and choose that. Mancini because he's shit for fucking his domestic club. Oh, I can hate on him.
It's not about heart.
Oh, yeah,
bro.
green light. Fuck
It's-
you. Like,
it's-
no.
There's
It's really not about heart.
There's
It's really not
heart
about heart.
and ability. A player to play for the Italian national team should have both. And I'd argue ability is actually more important than heart for international football.
We tried the Grinta thing. We tried the Grinta bullshit now.
We have a
Didn't
lot
work.
of players with Grinta, bro. Trust me, we have a lot. That's why we're not making it to the fucking World Cup.
I don't think that we actually have players that have getting to be honest.
We do.
I agree. I don't think it's a mentality thing.
if-
we have weak mentality.
We have
But
too
that's why
many.
you brought in Gattuso.
Too many
Didn't
players
work.
are getting called up because they have mentality. Cristante, fucking Mancini, Gatti, all these fucking shit players all have mentality and grinta.
What are you
They're
talking
fucking
about?
dog shit.
What are you talking
like,
about?
You're gonna shit
I
on a
actually
guy like
don't know-
Gatti that any chance he's gotten has actually played well, despite me hating on him for Juventus, has played well. And he's
No.
not. It's not that he's a 21-year-old, but he's still young enough that like the guy might have something in front of him, and just to shit on him for no reason because you choose. Oh, because Bastoni's
It's not shit
untouchable,
on him, bro.
but Gatti's a bricklayer.
The issue is that you're looking at it as a one-game issue. I'm looking at it as a.
We're not.
Yes, you are.
Football-
Bastoni fucked up this
Okay.
one game. Yeah, he fucked up this one game. It
Nobody's
doesn't matter.
talking about Bastoni here, bro. 11 people lost to Bosnia. 11 people. All of them are fucking
It's
idiots.
not
Idiot.
just
What this
11
is.
people. There's the manager. There's the.
That's
there's
exactly what I'm saying. Fuck Bastoni. I don't give a shit about Bastoni.
true.
Can we move on? Like, what are we talking about?
I agree.
Why
I
are
agree.
we talking about Bastoni right now? Tell me. What's
because
the
he
reason?
wants to
Because they're
coddle
looking
him,
at
but the
the
rest of the team
problem.
can go to hell.
I don't understand.
That's an
So
even
we
worse
just got news.
mentality.
Buffon resigned from his role.
Good.
That's stupid.
No, that's good. What?
No,
That's good.
That's
extreme-
good. That's great.
The
That's
one
great.
person that's able to show charisma, he's been there
No.
before. He knows how
Who
to
gives
keep
a fuck if they've
No,
been there
no,
before?
Buffon should have stayed. That's the
early-
one person I wouldn't have kicked out.
Buffon fucking out.
No.
And you know why? Because anybody that was part of this fucking, a part of Gravina's
Get
fucking
the
association,
bad blood out.
you're on the dark side, in my opinion. If you're with them, then you're fucking against me. Like, to me, Buffon being
disagree.
with them and doing zero, bro, the guy, Buffon would never have came out and said, I don't support Gravina. He would never come out. He would always support him blindly. To me, you're an op. You're an op. Even though you're a legend of Juventus, for the national team, you're an op.
Realistically, I right now I think Italy's at a point where I do not care if you've won a World Cup with us. I do not care if you
There's no
like,
players left that have won a World Cup.
no like
Just because you're a
people
good
were
player
bringing up-
doesn't make you a good coach.
Yeah, like a Pirlo. People were bringing up maybe a Pirlo. No, I disagree with that.
Buffon is not a coach. He's a
like a
group
liaison.
leader.
He's a liaison.
He's a group leader. That's good to have. A person you're not gonna name me another person that could fit that role that's not Buffon.
But where this
Del Piero
role?
would be good.
Where's
But
this
Del Piero
role in
didn't
other
want- Del Piero
places?
doesn't wanna do that.
Del Piero didn't. No, but not that he didn't want to do that. Del Piero seemed like he was against the structure of Italy.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
just
should be.
just like Buffon. Buffon is trying to change it, but obviously he's not in charge of any.
Buffon
Buffon
made
is a
zero
problem.
attempt to change it. Zero attempt.
But he's not
He
the
did
guy
his-
that's
He did
supposed
his
to be
job. He got his
changing it.
paycheck, and that's it.
No, he's not the guy that's supposed to be changing it. He's not. He's
It's
not
like-
the coach. He's not the leader. He's not Gravina.
You're part of the dark side. If you join the Italian national team association during the last 12 years, you are part of the dark side.
He's made one bad choice so far, and it's appointing Gattuso because although Gattuso is a good man that brings a lot of grinta, he was not the right man to lead Italy into this playoff situation. Buffon is good to have for his charisma, his experience. He's a leader. He's been there before. That's in situations where you need to build a group. He's the perfect guy to have. Del Piero's good too. I agree. But like, who else is there?
Totti.
But why?
Totti is playing Paro. He doesn't give a
But
shit.
again, you don't necessarily need a Buffon
Maldini.
type player.
Maldini's not bad.
Like to
That's
me,
good too.
To me, you don't necessarily need a Buffon type personality there to kind of just like pump up the team. To me, that just shows a different level of systemic failure
Who does
that
Spain have?
you do not support
Who does
anyone.
France
Bro,
have?
what
Like, that's what I'm
exactly?
trying
What
to
are
say.
these other countries, bro? They don't have fucking Buffon there, bro.
We don't know.
Like, I feel like we would know if a legend, like a Iker Casillas is part of the association. Like, we would know if he's part of the Spanish, if he's behind the bench. I don't know. I watched all these clubs and I don't see any legends aside from maybe like Netherlands that have legends behind the bench.
Yeah, like for Italy, for some reason, we always pan to the bench with fucking Buffon and shit like
Buffon,
that.
Bonucci,
yeah,
like,
It's all face. It's all fucking.
yeah, it's all image.
Yeah, it's all
but,
image.
But for Spain and shit, bro, you're watching the players, bro. The emphasis is on the fucking players, not the ex fucking 20 years
Yeah.
ago legends on the bench. that
Milan
are-
lose a game and you pan to fucking Zlatan in the
Yeah.
crowd, like, or Maldini.
It's completely different. But bro,
But
like,
I'm just saying, it's Italian culture. Like the way that we like we put blame. It's like, oh, pan.
the thing is that
Pass the
Buffon,
buck.
I agree, he should not have
But you can bring it
executive.
back, bro.
What
You can bring
who-
Buffon back later. Like it's not taboo to bring somebody back into the
No, I
association
agree.
in a few years. You know,
I agree.
I just think right now the best you can do is wipe everything clean, wipe the entire slate clean, start from scratch.
Like a Buffon to me would be more valuable in a role for like the U21s.
Yes.
A U
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
get that younger generation, make them understand what Italy used to be. Because right now they're looking at a team that has not made 3 World Cups. They're looking at a team that has no historic merit, historic value. You have to instill that importance at such a young age. And again, that's a systemic failure. We could go into it, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why we need those types of legends to support the squad at the senior level.
Yes.
Because they're treating them like they're fucking U21s. They're treating them like they're U19s. Like, guys, don't worry. Like, I've done this before. You can do it too. Like, you cannot. I cannot.
I don't think that's
have
the mentality they're going
But they would
into.
never put Buffon at the U21
But then
level
why- then
because
why
then
have
you're
him there?
wasting his image.
But then why have him there?
Because it's not actually about success. It's about putting on the gimmick.
It didn't work.
So
The
they
gimmick
would
was
never
Gattuso.
put Buffon at the U21 level because then he wouldn't be on camera.
I completely disagree, bro.
No.
Just listen to the way he talks. He knows football. You could see, like, that's a guy that if I'm a youngster, if I'm
Exactly.
even Cristante, who's not a youngster, I'm listening to him because
No.
I am.
I don't think so.
He's the type of person that brings everyone in the team together.
Because at the end of the day, a Cristante is gonna listen to Buffon. He's gonna go, okay. They lose. He's gonna go back to his nice little fucking mansion in Rome. He's gonna go to his wife, his kids. He's gonna live in a beautiful house, secluded, gated security, whatever.
Viva nel cadre.
Yeah, they do not. They may not feel the weight of his words, but you go to a Buffon, like you bring Buffon to a camp where the players are getting paid what 250 euros a month, a week, whatever, stipend, living in like the
But
training
you're-
centers.
then you're talking
they
about-
will fucking listen.
Then you're talking about something that can't even be fixed by someone else that's not Buffon.
because
Like
they,
then you're talking about completely like revolutionizing the pay. I don't know. Like
No, I'm not talking about the pay. I'm talking about getting them, instilling that influence earlier. Because you're putting Buffon at the end of the line, the senior team. These players have already been influenced top down.
again,
You don't need a Buffon in this whole
Not
structure.
in the senior
you don't,
squad.
In,
Not
a,
in the
in
senior
an ideal
squad, man.
structure,
You
you don't
do.
need a Buffon. If you want a Buffon, bring him in an hour before in the locker room before a big match
that's
and
what
have
he
him do a
does.
speech.
That's what he does.
But I don't need to pay him fucking $250,000 a year to do that.
I don't know how much he's earning, but
What are the odds? And we've seen this in like different sports where like players, well, even in football, where like Pirlo, like what are the odds that these all-timers just happen to be the best person for the position?
but Pirlo is not a good coach.
I agree. And
Buffon
Gattuso's
is
not
a good
coach.
person. To have somebody to lead a locker room in terms of like just creating a group, creating the chemistry, Buffon is the perfect person.
But there's probably much better people that are much more educated to do that job than him.
Well, Mancini
That's
in the Euros.
meritocracy. That's giving him the job
It's
because of his
not.
name.
Mancini
He's
in the
been
Euros.
there.
Who did he have next to him?
Vialli.
He had Lele Oriali,
Vialli.
and he had Vialli.
And
Those were guys that would be able to influence
So
a
you're
team
telling
like
me
that.
Vialli has the same influence as Buffon? They have. They've both been there. There's a
but
reason why you bring in these. It just worked this time. It worked last time in the Euros. It did not work this time because this time there's bigger issues that have built up.
Yes.
Ever since Mancini got fired, we went through the Spalletti era. We tried to switch it back to a 4-back. It did not work. We didn't have the players. The issues here are even club domestic wise.
Oh, of course.
Because the clubs are not aligning with how the national team is setting up. And that's the biggest problem. You see Barcelona with La Masia, Real Madrid with La Fabrica. Obviously, we're talking about like bigger clubs here and with more stature and more club facilities.
But it doesn't mean we can't replicate that.
We could replicate. I agree with it. You look at the U21s, the U20s, the U19s of Italy. They're all doing good right now.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Bro,
So,
they made
a Buffon
their
is
chance.
good for the
it's
seniors.
an emphasis on results. They're not doing good. They're not producing talent. Stop. This is the
No,
issue with the
they are
talent.
producing
They're
talent.
not
They're not
producing
developing it.
talent. They're not.
They are.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
They're
You
not.
don't win a
Probably they
U17
are.
World
There's no,
Cup
bro.
by chance.
I was literally like,
Varvar, the U20s for Italy, I was looking at it. The U20s for Italy have qualified for the Euros for 4 times in a row, which is like a
bro.
thing that
Once
has never
again,
happened in Italy.
you're emphasizing results. It's stop looking.
They just demolished Sweden
Stop
4-0.
looking. I could give a fuck about results if you're producing me Lamine Yamal. You could fucking.
they're-
I
they're
couldn't
They
give
are
a fuck.
producing players.
not
They're just
developing
not
results
developed.
because they've produced players.
There's a gap between
Yeah.
the U21s to the
Varvar,
senior
listen
team.
to the words he's
Yes.
saying.
There's-
Don't just shake
There's
your
a
head.
gap.
Listen to the words he's saying.
The players are there. They're producing them.
They're not
They're just
producing
not
them.
making
are.
that jump.
Stop being stubborn,
So
bro.
there's a problem going in between
Bro,
the U21s
every
and
single,
the senior level.
every single,
and that's domestic clubs
even
that
when
have,
players,
are at fault.
even when players get the chance in Serie A to play,
They don't get the chance.
But even when they do, they are not good enough.
What did you
That's
say
just
there?
not
You
true.
started
It
a
is
sentence
true.
with
Palestra is
Serie A. Serie A. We are making players. We are not developing players.
Yes, that's what I
I don't know what does that mean.
No, you.
Maybe if you listen to him for the last 5 minutes, you
no,
understood.
but
You just kept shaking your head.
let's
Listen.
go. Acaside.
Is Palestra good or not?
Palestra is fine. He's all right. Yeah.
Just say he's
Okay,
good,
now we're
bro.
Bro,
Just
no,
say
it's
he's
not.
good.
It's not. He's
a good
good.
player.
Yeah, sure. But like in England and France and shit, that's just a regular
okay,
player.
but
In Serie A,
In
Serie A,
Italy.
this year, he's been arguably top 3 right back in the league.
Okay,
Easily.
sure.
Like, not even a debate. Why is Politano starting ahead of him?
Bro, once again, you're looking
Why?
at you. But I don't disagree with you. You're acting like I disagree with you.
But that's
You
the
just-
problem. That's production, not development.
They
You
have-
should be developing
But
Palestra.
Palestra came into Serie A. It's his first fucking full season in Serie A, and
So
he's
we have
playing
produced
well.
good talent.
A
Play
player,
him.
a player like Fagioli, Miretti, and shit that come out and they're so hyped up, like,
Fagioli,
oh my
play
god,
him.
they're gonna be so good and stuff like that.
Fagioli's been
they
having a
play
fantastic
and they're
season.
mid. They're
not
fucking
Fagioli's
mid.
been-
But Fagioli's been having a fantastic season.
Fagioli is fucking mid.
Fagioli's mid.
Fagioli should never, ever
That's just not
get
true, though,
an
see?
Italian first team fucking appearance.
Until
Cristante
until he
should, though.
goes until he
No!
goes to England. Until
So
he goes,
I don't
he goes to
understand.
England,
Who's
he goes
Fagioli only gets a fucking first team appearance because he's Italian.
So who's going to play?
But that's the issue. We have no talent.
But-
we have
No,
nothing. It's a
so
fucking barren
this is
wasteland.
Everyone
like
has.
thing-
Everyone. All these
Yeah, I
big
know.
nations have the talent. It's just
No,
you're not
we don't
developing
have
them.
talent.
England,
Varvar,
France,
you're looking at
But
names.
Croatia have
Portugal.
talent, right? With 9 million people or whatever.
Croatia. The issue is
Switzerland
the
with
issue.
8.5 million
The
people.
issue is if Croatia had Modric, bro. It's like you can't.
What a stupid way of looking.
It's not.
Bro,
It's not.
Modric was a
They are-
non-Modric.
A Modric covers a lot of gaps in your team, bro. When you're pulling up with fucking Vida at center back.
Xhaka? Who does
Bro,
Switzerland have?
Xhaka have a solid starting 11. Switzerland have a solid
And how do they do
starting
that with
11.
8.5 million people?
But it's not. They have a good development program.
Because but their league, but their league's not top
But
5.
once again, we don't have a development program. No, but you're winning. You're winning in fucking Euros U21. I don't give a fuck.
There is talent.
No, there's not.
How can you
fucking
win
crazy.
youth tournaments?
You're crazy.
Varvar, you can't win youth
Because there's
tournaments
an
with no one.
emphasis on results versus
they're
countries
playing
like
well.
England, Spain, Portugal.
where the fuck are the results for the national team?
They emphasize development. It's not about the results. They don't care.
but
They're
Varvar-
not saying, "Oh, our youth development is good because we're winning this tournament and winning that tournament
with
and
that,
this
I
thing."
agree with you. But that's at the domestic level. The senior level is emphasizing results. You have a Milan, you have a Napoli, Inter, Juve. They all want to win the title. They don't give a fuck who plays. They just want to win the title. And they want to do good in the Champions League. It hasn't been working out, but that's their goal. And that's the gap I'm talking about, because the clubs are not in conversations with the youth levels in developing these players. So let's add a U23 quota. You need to have a certain amount of Italians
We'll get into the we'll actually
let's
structurally get into the solutions, because before we started, we can argue for 10 more hours, but let's keep it structured. We all prepared actual structural. I don't know if they're all structural for you guys.
One. No, I have one.
Well, mine's a
But
program.
mine's layered.
Mine's a program.
Mine's
Yeah,
a
we could-
three-pronged approach.
Yeah, mine's a trident approach. But we all have solutions to the Italian federation, to the Italian football, and I think it's better if we just structurally go through them.
Yeah, we could break
Mine's
them.
the most extreme, I believe. So I would
Okay, wait,
keep
so-
myself to last.
like I went into it. The U23 quota is a perfect way to start it. You set you don't have to play them in every single game a certain amount of Italian players that are U23, but set a minute quota. So at the end of the season, you go back and you see which teams have hit this quota, and whether you've exceeded it or went behind it. You're giving incentives or penalties. I think
But
that's
what kind of incentives you're giving?
you could give, like, for example, Como has played no Italians this year. They have 1 minute of an
But
Italian,
you see, Como's U19 team or whatever the fuck are fucking destroying everyone.
but they're not Italian. So
In the U19s, they are.
I don't know
they?
about their unit.
But once again, we're emphasizing result. If we want to emphasize results, like Como's U19 side are incredible.
I mean, I don't know anything about their
he's
team.
not
We
saying
don't know.
full
We don't know the
emphasis on
nationalities.
results,
of
Varvar.
players.
That's what Ferms is saying. Ferms is saying there is something to, like, it's like there's a pile of dirt with gems in it. That pile is winning something. So you know there has to be something in
You see,
that pile.
I don't see it as
where
a
you could
pile of
develop.
dirt with gems in it. I just see it as a fucking
Okay,
a
but then-
pile of
sorry, that was
cobblestone,
a bad-
which may be a bunch of
that's-
decent
that's a bad
players.
analogy.
I'm sorry,
That
you're
was a bad
not
analogy.
informed then.
Yeah.
You're not informed.
That's a bad
No.
analogy.
You're not informed.
How do you win? How do you
Bro,
win a U19 or
First of all,
whatever?
the only gems
with
we
shit?
have in our academy right
You.
now are from they were developed in Germany.
You're
They were
look-
developed elsewhere.
Is that not Italian?
Yeah, sure, but how much Italian influence? They didn't go through the Italian system. They went through the German system. They just so
And-
happened to pick Italy.
You're like, I don't understand. Like, that's exactly what I'm saying. The Italian system, domestic clubs are that fail. They're failing.
Yes, 100%.
There's
We're
a
talking about the national program at the moment.
Yes, but the
I don't
national.
care if this guy plays for Dortmund, as long as we know how to cycle him so that he develops into a player that plays for the national team in 2 years.
But it's
Yeah, like I don't think you understand what he was saying.
You
at
will
all.
always the French system. Most of these players are getting developed outside of France. Let's say at the top level.
well,
Why is the
at the
Liga
top
not-
level,
And but
not- not
that's fine
in the youth academy,
and that's
stuff.
fine. But as long as those players are suited, they have the toolkit to be able to do that outside of France and then come back to France and play for the national
Exactly.
team. It doesn't
Because
matter.
they're all aligned.
I don't care that it's not happening at Piacenza. I just want it to happen somewhere.
I don't know.
that.
As long as it's consistent and it's replicable.
But that's only because the national team, the national team and the leagues are not working in tandem.
Yes, that's
But
the
if-
problem.
And I said this off the stream as well. I said if Italy does not, I also commented on Instagram too. It was if Italy does not want to reform the top down, they don't want to reform anything. Send every Italian talent out of Italy. Send them to Germany, send them to Spain, send them to England. Let them develop there because clearly we can't develop it ourselves.
100% agree
We
with
know
that.
that they will. Like if they go there, there's a good chance. There's not a good chance, but there's a chance that they could come back to the Italian national team, and if things align, they could be very, very good
100%.
players.
Because like we've seen with our Dortmund streams, for example, they know how to integrate these players into the senior squad.
But again-
these guys were youngsters that didn't get a chance in Italy.
This guy's
They
playing
go
a
to
dirt
Dortmund.
classicer, but he's not good enough to play for fucking Pisa.
So you see how the senior clubs that are in Germany are able to develop these players into first team players. Ignacio is going to be soon a starter for Dortmund. Soon. Give it a couple more years, he's going to be there.
The issue though with that is when we risk becoming a Netherlands, we risk becoming a Belgium, we risk becoming a Switzerland, where the players are not in the country. We don't have a strong league, but abroad they're top. So
But you have to do both simultaneously.
You have to do both.
until Serie A catches up. Because if you don't allow those guys to develop at Dortmund, then you'll just be screwed.
My
You'll be screwed.
solution involves the club staying winning focused and the youth development being
Separate.
separate. So I'm gonna.
You wanna do yours
Mine's
now?
the most extreme. So I don't know if you want to start with the most extreme versus go. to the most extreme
Mine's not
after.
really extreme, but I can. Mine's gonna take 2 minutes.
Okay, so go ahead. You start.
So I have. It's like Mili said. It's a 3-pronged trident. Okay, first, it's forcing youth academies. It is wild to me that at this point in time we only have 3 clubs in Serie A: Milan Futuro, I don't know what the Atalanta one is called, and the Juventus Next Gen that have academies playing in Serie C. I don't understand at this point how that still is the case.
well, Inter has 2.
Yeah, now.
23s. But I don't
You
know
guys
if
play
they're
in-
in Serie C.
you don't play in
Well,
Serie
it's-
C.
It's their first season, so like
Okay,
they're
well,
working their way
maybe
up.
it's starting, but at that
Yeah,
point, wow, we have 4 of them.
Yeah.
When the Bundesliga, all 36 clubs in the Bundesliga and Bundesliga 2 are mandated by the DFL to operate their own certified youth academy. academies, and it's a whole system. I think they put this in like the 2000s after a bad span of footballing or whatever.
2014 when
Could it be
Germany
2014?
was. Not 2014,
No,
sorry, they won the world.
Anyway,
2018 they got booted.
I think it was in the early 2000s, and France did a similar thing, and I'll get to that after. So, forcing like a structural pressure, like actual like law in place that every team in Serie A must have a youth academy playing in whatever restriction you want to put, automatically forces that structure to be made. A Lecce, a team that is struggling to stay in Serie A, they will never, without pressure, they will never make an academy. Because what's the point? They can barely stay in Serie A.
Exactly.
I barely have money to put food on the table, quote unquote. Why should I make a? Why should I make?
Got 40 mil for Dorgu, so I don't understand.
You know what I mean. You don't need to get into specifics. Force them to do these things. Don't just hope that they do these things.
And you see this with like a Benfica that has a B team. You see a Porto B team. Benfica has been producing talent for so many years because these B team players are playing at a professional level, at a high level. They're being produced, they're being developed, and then they make the jump to the Benfica first team, and then they get their big move.
Yeah.
You never see Udinese B. You never see, when you're looking at FOMO,
Doesn't
you never
exist.
see a
Doesn't
Lecce B.
exist.
Well, maybe
exist.
was Dorgu Lecce B?
No, he came from a Denmark club, but they bought him young.
Exactly. So, sure, your scouting could be good, but wouldn't it be much easier to develop from Lecce B, from Udinese B, from whatever, Catanzaro
look,
B?
I'm not saying that you're that's obviously a good implementation, but I do have a qualm with it. Is that in England the U23 is playing the U23 PL? There's no like, oh, they go and play in.
I'm not saying to play in Serie C. I'm not saying force them, because then there would be 20 Serie A youth teams in Serie
No,
C.
but I'm saying like even just like there's no Man United B playing in the Division 1 or whatever, like League 1. Like it's not like they're not. It is also like up to the clubs. Also, like, yes, they could play in Serie C or whatever. Bro, Milan just bought an 18-year-old Italian kid who is dominating in Serie B, and they're not giving him any playtime. Like, it's still
Did they buy him like 2 weeks ago?
January. They haven't played him like a lick. So it's
Okay, but that's why there's more to this. But
he's playing for the B team, but he literally just went down a level then.
Yeah.
He was in B.
But
he
He was in
before.
City B dominating. Now he's playing in Serie C. Didn't they get relegated? He's actually in City D. No.
with a
No,
Milan
Serie
crest,
C
though.
now.
They're back.
Didn't you guys get
They went
relegated?
Serie D? I don't know.
I don't think they got. I think they just saved themselves at the end of the season. I'm
But
not sure,
point is, he went down a level to get this transfer, and he's not even playing. now in
regardless,
Milan.
all the Bundesliga teams, the academies also have a forced structure on them, which is the other point. Because like to answer what you're saying, they like it doesn't matter if you're playing in Serie C, Serie D, whatever these teams can manage to play in. They should all have a similar structure that forces you to go get players from the local areas, forces you to like bring them up, like grassroots football, basically. The second one, stop formation training from youth. This is a big problem in Italy, and this has been this is a common thing that everybody mentions. And if you speak to young players in Italy, they teach these guys to play formations, and by the age of 19, sure, they know 2-3 formations, or they know the 5-back, or they know whatever. These guys they don't develop the ability or the
breed
creativity.
specialists.
Exactly, you're creating specialists, and you're creating left wing backs, you're creating center backs. You're not creating players. Look at Yildiz and Nico Paz, two players that were not developed. You can say Yildiz
was developed in Germany.
he was partially developed in Italy.
partially
He was
developed
partially.
in
Bro, he
Germany.
was 17. He joined Juve when he was 17, bro. Like,
Okay. So but that even builds
finished
to my
product.
point that Yildiz and Nico Paz are two of the most creative players in Serie A. I think we can all agree, if not the two most creative and flair based players in Serie A. Those are two players that weren't developed in Italy. When is the last time we see players like a winger or a cam that has flair, that is enticing, that is it's visually pleasing to watch, that was developed from an Italian youth system?
Like Insigne, maybe. For Napoli.
So we're really scraping the bottom. Chiesa maybe, and that lasted a year and a half. So that's like, if we give them all the tools to succeed, then this player can be successful anywhere in the world, as opposed to teaching them how to be a left wing back in Italy, playing for Italian football.
Focus on technical ability. Focus
Exactly.
on playing with the ball instead of like without it.
And that leads to my third point, which is very near, which is stop forcing a football ideology onto these players. This old style football mentality in Italy, where it's all defensive football, pragmatic, we build up slowly, blah, 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 that will get you nowhere. We know football trends change all the time. This is the equivalent equivalent. I'll give you an analogy. That is the equivalent of box to box. We saw that we made a start bench sell at the beginning of our life, and we said, "Oh, start bench sell did well.
doing good.
Let me keep doing start bench sell until it's like we know it fails at a certain point. But that's like if we just keep trying to innovate start bench sell forever
Without changing it.
No, you have to change. That's why then you create a footy tic-tac-toe. This is just a weird analogy, but it works in our sense.
Yeah.
Stop forcing the same type of thing all the time. And I have a quote from Hubert Fournier. I don't know if you guys know him. He was a Lyon coach, and now he's a technical director at France. He said, "Our goal is not to develop players for whatever game system is fashionable today, but to provide them with a toolbox for a 15-year career."
Yeah.
And that actually is the most applicable thing because France have players like you see with the Chouameni, like a Camavinga. If these guys were construction workers, their toolbox will be full because these guys are able to play in different positions. They're technically gifted. They just have all the tools to succeed. And I don't see that with Italian players, like a Di Marco.
Well, yeah, like DiMarco, unfortunately, is a victim of this type of system.
Yeah, because he grew up only in the Italian
Well, but-
system.
Yeah, so I definitely see where you're coming from. I mean, listen, I don't know if you want to go firms. I have something similar.
I was planning on just rapid firing them because I still have 3, but
Yeah.
the first one I mentioned was the U23 quota, and I think it should be a minute thing. It shouldn't be like this game you have to play 5 Italians that are U23. I think if you do a minute quota for the season, where a team like Lich, well, every club should be subject to this, but like let's say if you surpass that quota, so you have U23 Italian players playing more than I don't know 2,000 minutes, let's say, just shooting numbers like this, you get an incentive. So either bonuses monetarily.
This could get if you add bonuses, it could get dangerous though, because it could short term your teams are going to get a lot worse because you're forced to play Italians, and it's also going to lead to the overinflation of every Italian player in the transfer market.
But the thing is that I agree, short term you will get a hit, but at least you're leveling out the playing field. Because right now the issue is that like a Lecce, who's like I told you guys, go look at the last teams in Serie A. They don't have Italians, and to me, I'm thinking like a Lecce, like a Pisa. How is it possible?
No, they do. They have Italian.
They don't. Go look at their team sheet. They have
No, I think
maximum.
it's the opposite.
Pisa's only Italian.
No.
I think
Fiorentina is the only one trying something.
that-
Pisa might have
It'll
9
lead, it'll
starters
lead
that
to
are
cop
not.
outs, bro. It'll also lead to cop outs. I think like you'll see like probably a bunch of teams will literally just end up buying Italian goalkeepers
Starting
and just
11.
giving all their minutes to Italian goalkeepers and shit. Like it'll lead to cop outs.
Yeah,
also.
Okay, but
again,
the Italian goalkeeper is still Italian youth talent. Like you're
Yeah,
still
but-
developing something.
It's just like they're always looking for a way out because they know that
It's
like
the emphasis on winning, so they're just gonna find a way to weasel out of that.
But again, because you're leveling out the playing field, because everybody has to do it. A Milan has to do it. A Pisa has to do it. Now, Milan is gonna try and develop these players, and obviously, like the emphasis is still on winning, but you have to do it. Everybody has to do it. If you don't hit that threshold of a quota, then you're getting penalties, monetarily ones. And if you do go above it, you get these incentives that will ultimately help your club.
I feel like this puts a ceiling on the league. It becomes like in my mind that
In the short term, it will.
That pushes you towards the Eredivisie, and it pushes you more to becoming an Eredivisie than it is to becoming a Prem. That's my
because
fear.
you're
Too far from
That's
a
my
Prem.
fear.
No,
but,
but
in
the
England
ish-
they do have homegrown quotas. Though.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, no. Once again, they have homegrown quotas, but it's not English. You just have to have trained in England before the age of 21 to fill that quota. So you can go
Could be a
buy
mix of
a
both.
top of the product from La Masia, and he's considered homegrown.
Yeah.
So it still emphasizes the quality.
Serie A has that as well.
I think they do also.
They do. Like in FM, when you manage, I'm pretty sure
yeah.
FM is the right.
And they also
rule set.
they cap how many non-EU players you can sign and
like
stuff
we,
like
we
that.
have the same thing, but it's all just to help with registration. Once they play 3 years and they become if they're under 21, then there's all these like rules. So we do have that, but we don't have minute regulations.
And the goal, the thing that will help a lot is aligning the development of these players with how the club is moving. Because now you're forced to have these guys in your system. So you have to give them a clear pathway into how Milan plays, for example, from the youth academy. And just having these players develop in this way on a league-wide basis, yes, you will get hit in the short term, but I could guarantee it's going to be a profitable thing in the future,
you're looking
especially
more
if you
at
have
a long-term
monetarily incentives.
You're looking at a long-term play then.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I mean, second, now I have it on my phone.
Sorry,
go.
on that. Like, what if what if then that takes away from, like, let's say that was in place now, and a team like Juventus like has Yildiz at left wing, and like, what if there was another left winger that was also U21 and happened to be the only position on the pitch that they have a U21 winger? What if Juventus was then forced to get those minutes, that minute quota, and played a different left winger that was Italian? Let's say Yildiz and Chiesa were both developing at the same time. You would have never found the Yildiz because the Chiesa would have had to play to get the minutes. How do you protect that?
The thing is that since it's like a season thing, you have to adjust your minutes. Like, that's why I'm not saying it's a per game basis. So obviously you're not going to go into a game against Milan, like say it's Milan Juventus. You're not going to put Chiesa ahead of Yildiz in that situation. You're going to think, okay, if I play Yildiz in this game, hopefully against the Lecce, I'm going to play Chiesa or the youngster that's developing. So if you have a plan throughout your season that you know when to play your youngsters, you know when to play your top level players. Your youngster could be the top level player as well. You have this plan that you could follow throughout. Now you have a way of like developing them even against the Lecces, the Parmas, whatever. Like, you understand like what I'm trying to get at?
It depends like what the quota is at, like the number that it is at.
Yeah, it's a minute thing.
You know, like if it should be that you only have to have like the equivalent of one guy starting every match for the whole season, minutes wise.
Yeah.
38 times 90, which is 3,600 minutes or whatever.
Something like that. Because in one game you could do, well, maybe not 90 every game, because then you actually have to do that. But you're saying Italian youth, or you're saying Italians in general?
You could expand. Well, I would say Italian youth. I think a U23, like England kind of does it, to be honest. Like a U23, it could be homegrown, so it doesn't have to be Italian. But obviously, maybe if somehow
I would want to avoid a team like Inter playing at Cherby 90 minutes for an entire season and hitting the quota.
No, I'm saying U23.
U23.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how you block the guys. And I guess that does help with people like Acerbi, that like you're not going to prioritize an Acerbi over like Fontana Rosa, whoever you have in the academy.
Is there.
You know?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
And go.
Yeah, go. Did you have more? Did you add one more?
Well,
point?
I could rapid fire them throughout.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it was more the idea of like consolidation. Like, there's just too many things that aren't connected with each other. So the first one I have is like talking about that youth pathway, where, like you said, there's a disconnect between the youth products and then the senior team. So making sure that we like the training is better, making sure that the quality of players that we are developing is better. How does that happen? We make sure, like in England, they consolidated basically their whole
St.
training.
George's Park.
Exactly. They consolidated their whole training system from top to bottom. From the senior team all the way down to the youth levels, it's literally
Even in France,
like, you know, when we did La Fabrica,
France's Clairefontaine or something like that.
Yeah.
You know when we did La Fabrica tour and they showed us the whole La Fabrica, the Real Madrid
But we were
training
looking at
facilities,
6-year-olds.
it was all consolidated into one place, which I think 100% it brings, like when kids are eating lunch, they see the professional
But do
players.
you remember what the tour guy was saying? At the Real Madrid training facility, the pitches are designed in a way that the youngest players play on the lowest field,
one,
and they look up,
work their way up.
and it's literally like they work their way up to the top level, which is where the seniors play, and they can constantly see the progression. So like it is literally in front of their eyes physically
Every
when they're
day.
training every day where I become, and then like let's say the next season they become a U10 and they jump up to the middle pitch. Like it's just that for a young player is like, I see myself becoming a starter for Real Madrid.
It's a psychological
Yeah.
thing, because the pathway is clear. In Italy, there is no pathway.
When in reality,
Italy-
in Real Madrid, it's most likely once you get to the top field, you get sold to.
Yeah, exactly. But you
sold
still
to
know the
team.
direction. You
Yeah.
know the direction. They're they're trying to build you up.
Yeah.
Italy, like we have Coverciano, but
Yeah.
Coverciano is more of a tactical school of thought. It's more of like a managerial emphasis. We kind of need to convert that into kind of like a St. George's, where it's
Like a Clairefontaine.
like a Clairefontaine,
Yeah.
where anywhere from the U13s to the U23s and to the senior team, all in the same Italian national team
Yeah.
system.
Mbappe for Clairefontaine
yeah.
he literally went through the entire Clairefontaine system.
and it
he
hasn't
was young
changed.
enough.
But where do the Italian youth goes? Like, where do they go?
There's no central
They play
location.
they play for a school, then they play for
They hop from club infrastructure to club infrastructure. There's no consolidation. Emphasis on analytics. Honestly, the players, the way that they're getting fucking beaten up in the media and whatever, psychological assistance.
sure.
We have to put an emphasis on looking forward, nurturing these players, giving them the right tools, like we said, the right tools to get there. So,
But I agree though, centralizing not just centralizing youth development, but centralizing our
whole
league
system.
Yeah.
Because I was looking into it. they're all, so the way it works right now is it works like a federal government, provincial, and then like municipal. It works in like a tiered system where there's representatives from Serie A, Serie B, Serie C,
exactly.
the Ref Association, the Players Association. So you have representatives from like maybe 8 different groups, all going to what do they call it? A council. It's like almost
The
like
council
a
meeting
it's almost like a senate, but for all these organizations. And then they vote on, do we appoint Gravina? Do we appoint? So what happens? Bureaucracy, because that's natural. You're forcing a system that is like innately corrupt. Like, because now Gravina can sway the referees association, he can sway the Serie A, he can sway the Serie B, and now he has majority in the council, as opposed to having a centralized committee that doesn't give a shit who Gravina is or Buffon or Gattuso. They just want to make the decisions that are best for the council.
It's a good point because it became like a political thing where it's almost like you're working in a contract. Like, I'll take this out, but I'll put this in.
It's negotiations.
It's negotiations instead of like, how can we all work together to make football in Italy great again? And that's the issue.
But I have my hesitations with that system as well, because then like, what if, because like, in theory, when you divide and conquer, you have like, let's say you have 10 different people. If one of them is corrupt, at least you still have 9 that aren't corrupt. In Italy, I would be fearful of doing that, and I think what they have in place now is put to avoid corruption.
It's like a failsafe.
But now, if you only have one unified council, if those become fucked up, like your whole system fails automatically. So, and we might imagine if it was already centralized, we'd be saying decentralize it. So that's what my fear is with changing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna attach myself to that point, Mili, because my second point was actually based on the Clairefontaine model, that these guys are having weekly roundups with the U15s to the U21s, where they all reunite once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, something like that, to actually have training sessions together.
I did see that.
Impossible. U21s do not meet, bro.
Maybe
U21s they all play international. They all play for clubs and stuff like that. They're not meeting once a week.
Okay, then maybe there's a cutoff, but 100% U15s.
I was reading that.
Maybe it's like a U10 to U16 situation.
Maybe younger groups.
Yes, they all round up every week and they train together, obviously in their category. But what this helps, like Mili was saying, is that now you're like unifying the same direction with everybody in that nation. And this is really good because at the end of the day, it puts, in this case, the French national team ahead of the clubs. So the clubs are the ones that follow the national team. Because right now in Italy, what we have is the national team is following the clubs, which is a big issue because you're not aligned.
That's also one of my other overarching points as well.
Because exactly, like Milan is trying to compete for the Scudetto.
There's clubism. It's the idea that it's just Juve players, Milan players, Inter players, Roma players, kind of just meeting up and okay, now Gattuso, do what you can with this team. That's what happens when you have a Bastoni playing as a central center back. You have Politano playing right wing back. You have players playing out of position because again, you're just taking, okay, these are the biggest names, put them in one team,
figure it out,
and try to do something with it.
Yeah.
And then what ends up happening is that the team is not good enough to then play a 4-2-3-1 or something like that because you're compensating for everyone. So I would say again, it's the emphasis on like one DNA, like one kind of it's taking away the idea that like the way that Inter plays, that's how the Azzurri should play. What does that do to the Juve players? What does that do to the Milan players? We need to have top down, like what I have is like a system consolidation where there's like it's Azzurri DNA where Spain does it too. Like the way that the Spanish youth players play, like U13s or whatever, you can expect those players to be familiar with the system at the top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Italy doesn't do that. We literally just saw it the day after Italy got eliminated, after we played a 3-4-1-2-1 or whatever the fuck we played. We just saw with the U21s or the U19s, whoever was playing, Coleosho played, Honest Ahanor played. They were playing 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Those players, especially on the wings, they have no pathway. They have no future in the Italian national team if we're stuck playing with wing back.
How's it possible that a U21 team is playing differently from the national from the senior team?
So emphasizing.
Well, maybe that's why they're successful.
Exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
But we're emphasizing too much on the tactics currently in the Italian national team. Emphasize on ability. Emphasize flexibility. Emphasize like actual like the working to the player's strengths. Do not try to shoehorn players into a tactical a tactical type of system that doesn't work for anyone.
Would you rather have a titanium key that can only open one door, but it's a very strong key, or would you rather have a copper key that can open every door?
Yeah,
I'd
you
rather
want-
have
you
a
wanna
copper
be-
key that can open every door.
You want to be
because
flexible.
It allows me to get into every room.
And then you could start developing the U13 player. Like, let's say you have a promising U13 winger. You could then develop him to say, okay, when he takes that jump to U17, U21, U23, senior national team, he has worked on himself in that position all the way up. We need to have a set system from top to bottom, how the Italy DNA, how we play. Forget the tactics, forget Catenaccio, forget any of that. We need to focus on player ability.
Yeah.
Working to the player's strengths. And then again, like we said, we've mentioned it a couple times, like just an overarching ideology, just working on that too. So it's there's a lot that needs to be done. I think the only way really is to cut the fat, cut the loose fat, keep the core, work on strengthening the core. And that, how do you do that? Consolidation.
Yeah,
Putting everything
100%.
all in one place.
Yeah, because it worked in Spain, it worked in England, it worked
Simplify.
in France.
Germany
In
have it too.
Germany, it worked.
Simplify
So
things.
I don't understand how Italy has been left behind with this thing, and I think they've actually tried it. I was reading, but obviously the prideful Italians ended up saying like, why look at outside of Italy when we've been doing it correctly, and
We've done shit
this is
right.
what happened.
How much failure do you need to show you that
Exactly.
you're not doing successful? You're not doing it successfully.
Yeah, and I guess before Varvar starts saying his point, my third was obviously super simple. Tax incentives for private investment in stadiums and infrastructure. We've seen it with,
Yeah,
I've seen it for Milan, for example. They end up buying this huge area in San Donato, and then the government says you can't use it to build a stadium. So now you have a huge piece of land, which they've turned into youth facilities, but how can you move forward with this huge investment and then be stopped by the government, the higher ups, saying, no, actually, you can't do that. We're going to keep the San Siro and you guys are going to have to share it. So instead of working against each other, they should work together, give these tax incentives and start building something that will help future generations as well.
Also, on that talk about monetary incentive and whatnot, the coaches that are working at the youth level, these guys are doing this part-time. These
Yeah.
guys are doing they're not fully they're invested, but they're not this is not full-time. There's no security for them. They're kind of saying, shit, if this is kind of a second job for me, I need to win in order to keep this job. So then they're going to focus on
That's a good point, actually.
They're going to be focusing on getting players that just good for them to win.
Yeah.
If you give them the monetary support where they could do this full time, actually nurture the players, develop them regardless of the results, but you see promise, that will help in the long run as well.
The problem,
It's
is like
self-centered.
this is being devil's advocate, but the problem is all these solutions we're saying cost money. And who's going to pay that money? Well, it's difficult for Serie A to pitch in because Serie A is in this downward spiral of, well, our teams are getting
Right.
worse, so we're making less Champions League or we're making less final, we're making less money and blah, blah, blah. And you keep going down, down, down. So it's very hard for someone in a downward spiral to say, let me invest more money. It's like a company that's already like very close to bankruptcy. The solution for that company is always most likely, well, you need to inject more money. But that might push them into bankruptcy, you know? So where are you going to get this money?
But what do they do? Those types of companies. Let's say like a McDonald's was in bankruptcy. They have a million restaurants around. What do? Chop off the fat. Close the nations, consolidate, work on a couple
But
locations.
we can't close anything.
Well,
Yeah, that's the problem.
One thing you could also do,
Sell Milan and just take the funds and
for real.
one thing we could also do that I've seen, I think De Laurentiis was saying, the Napoli president, is make the league 18 teams. Because
I
wanted
actually
16.
saw that solution.
He wanted
I actually
16.
saw
He
that.
wants to even go more
16
radical.
is a little bit
but he's a
too
little
radical.
radical. I find.
But 18 would actually be good because, and even the relegation situation, because obviously I still believe in relegation, but what relegation does is that it makes teams that like Pisa that have no chance of staying up and come to Serie A for 1 year,
not gonna
they're not going to
develop
invest.
players. They're not gonna
What's the
develop
point?
players.
They're going to buy some foreigners that are going to come in for cheap. They're not going to be that good. Maybe one of them is going to pop off, but at the end of the day, why should Pisa invest more if they're going to go back to Serie B next year?
What did Monza do? The minute they made it to Serie A, signed a Candreva, signed a Ranocchia.
Exactly. You go
signed
for the low, cheap options.
signed a Gagliardini, signed all these old
That
bums.
doesn't help the league whatsoever.
just
doesn't
to
help.
think, just to hope that they stay up in Serie A.
Yeah.
But if you do 18 teams, 16, forget it. If you do
16 is
18
too
teams, the season is now down to
2 weeks less.
34 games.
Oh, yeah,
you lose 4
34.
games compared to 20. It's
The
1938.
Bundesliga is it 18 teams?
18.
Yeah.
They've
But
did
you,
that step.
sure the teams get more money, but there's also less games to make money. So it's like a two-sided coin.
Yeah.
'Kay.
Now Varvar with
I-
his radicalization.
I
let's
have
see.
but I think you guys are actually gonna like it. Talking about your points because the benefit we have is we can take parallels. Europeans may not see it as much. We can take parallels from North American sports and apply it to football because we see what works in North America. So in hockey, 20 years ago, Canada pumped out talent like basically the whole NHL was just Canadian. Like the US players were all right. They weren't, but they never had like really like a solid national team to compete with Canada because Canada was just every player was like an all-timer. And US they were decent players. Like there were some that ended up being good, but like there was really a development gap between the US and Canada. So 20 years ago, what did the US come up with? It's called the US men's national team, U.S. Hockey National Team Development Program.
USMNT?
Yeah. No. That's it. That's the.
What's the hockey version
It's
called?
the U.S. National Development
It's where
Program.
Cole Caulfield came from.
So, well, all the top players in the NHL,
Yeah,
all
Matthews.
the top U.S. players came from this one
Kachuk.
program. So, basically, how it is that I think at 15 years old, they bring in all, let's say, the top 80 players of the age group at 15 years old into a tryout to fill in a team of 23 of. They're going to be the U.S. National Team Development Program. So this program at 15 years old, it's basically like the top 23 of that age group are on a team together, and they go play university teams above their age group. They go play like a bunch of universities. So playing 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds at 15, and it's a daily thing. Like you live at that program for
What, a summer?
For no,
Well, during
the
the
whole
season?
year.
Where they get
They get a school, they get
have a
everything.
they have a
They have a
US
school
yeah.
at the U.S. development program. Like everything is centralized. The kids are basically trained to be elite athletes from the age of 15. So this is a radical idea, but it's basically that we start and it's extreme centralization.
Yeah.
So
I'm okay with
we're
that.
not even talking about like centralizing the
This
clubs
is like
and stuff
China
like that.
communism situation.
Like
So
20
permitting an only elites.
Elites only.
because that's what the Italian national team only cares about, the best of the best.
Yeah, there's only
I
11
don't-
players. At
I
the end
don't
of the day,
care
so-
about the Fagiolis. Like, go ahead, go have a decent career. Like, you're an all right
Yeah,
player.
but don't pinpoint players because if Fagioli, maybe if the system was right, that
yeah,
Fagioli
sure,
could have
maybe.
developed differently.
Yeah, I
But I'm
agree.
saying, like, I don't need all right players. I need amazing players. Iron sharpens iron. So you have centralized development. It allows the Milan, Inter, and Juve to still just focus on winning because those kids are getting playtime. My idea was that you build this Italian national youth program. You go have them play games abroad too against like top teams from other leagues. Let's say like a Celtic or whatever. Maybe teams that need a bit of financial incentive. You pay them to play a friendly against your Italian national team.
But these
development
players,
program.
are they playing for clubs as well?
They're going to be linked to clubs, yes. But the clubs will not be in control of their development. They're going to outsource the development to this elite program.
I think it's too much of a gap again.
It's
Like-
not a gap.
That's
you
what
you
worries me.
outsource the development of the
yes.
player because obviously the clubs can't be trusted.
But they
for
should
these
own them.
developments.
I agree.
These Italian, no, but
Yes, they own them. They still own them. Juventus. Let's say Juventus have
No,
a
I'm saying
15-year-old.
don't own them. Let the Italy. Well, let's call
Yeah,
it.
maybe you can
Let's
say-
call it the Azzurri Blue or whatever. Like they're the owners of these players.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they
Maybe-
need to make money
Calcio
somehow.
signs these players.
Yeah, Azzurri Calcio should sell
yeah, but
to make money.
maybe it's like I was just thinking in my head while you guys were speaking. Maybe the Serie A pays a yearly fee to this program. It doesn't need to be
government
much.
should
Like
fucking
maybe
contribute.
like 10, 20 mil or whatever. Like that would get it flying. I'm saying like you centralize one place or whatever, but you pay like it's a big upfront cost, but yearly fees. I don't think it'll be that crazy. But you centralize it all, and maybe Serie A pays a fee to outsource the whole development of the entire league.
I think because football is much bigger than hockey, you might need like two.
Yeah, it's
Like, you might
possible,
need
but
two teams.
I'm saying
Where
like
they're only playing versus they're only who are they playing?
I have it written right here. Points. They play teams from around the world, so you're not just playing Italians. You're not just stuck to this one ideology. You'll go to Spain, play maybe La Fabrica once in a while, or you can play like a second division Spain team for some money or whatever. Like they're actually playing senior squads, but they're 16, 17.
I really like the idea at the core. At the core of it, I really like the
It's
idea.
so
but there's a lot
radical
of,
though that it's such a change from what they're used to that
Yeah.
it will never get implemented. But I think any country that could potentially, this is not just in Italy. If someone were to like this is amazing. You play against different tactics from other countries also. So
but they never develop. They never develop season. They never develop they never play a full season, so they don't know what a.
It'll be much more time spent on the training pitch than on the game pitch.
But the U.S. the hockey team, they don't play a season whatsoever?
They do. They play. They don't play.
college?
They don't play for championships and shit like that. They literally just go play exhibitions against colleges.
Yeah.
They play. It's
I find that
literally
crazy
purely
that they-
development.
You never play a
focused.
big game.
But then when
Yeah.
do they get drafted? They get drafted at a certain point.
They
though.
get drafted out of the U.S. men's development program.
like, see,
Because
that-
they have a clear path.
Yeah.
Like,
So their
but
first
the
big
issue-
game is like come when they're 20 years old.
Well, they're gonna go. They go to college after the U.S. development program.
Oh, what age do they leave the program at?
It's 17 or 18.
So it would have to be like developed by like Atsuri Calcio, and then once they hit 18, then they kind of become like a free
professional.
agent, a professional free agent that could sign for
Yeah.
Milan, Juve, Inter.
But if
then there has to be
Milan,
some
Juve,
sort
and
of quota.
Inter see this 18-year-old Italian that played well against Celtic, he played well against all these like
Players-
pretty
teams
good
that they would've
teams
played in
that
the
they would have
Champions
played in
League or Europa
Champions
League.
League or whatever.
You're gonna
It's
play- you're gonna
very
start the
easy to justify playing him.
no.
It's
not really.
easier to justify, or it's
Easier.
easier for a Bologna to loan him and give him play time or whatever.
because
like
he's had development time
Yes.
against these top players. Like
But,
he
I
was
mean-
already be a top player.
And I'm also saying you poach in this program, you poach the best. The issue is that one club might have a good goalie coach in the youth program. One club might have a good defender. You poach all the best coaches from all these Italian
Centralize,
clubs.
yeah, that
and
I
you
agree.
centralize
Really
it.
hard, bro.
Also, one crucial, every player in this program has to learn English so that you are not forced to play in Italy, because learning English broadens the horizon not only for that, but also allows this program to use English-speaking coaches also.
I
That's
think
radical. Like that.
You
that
have
will
to
never,
learn
that will
English.
never pass. But I like
Italians have English school.
English
like,
school. But
they-
just
Yes,
apply that
but
English school to like, let's say when you
every
consolidate.
every Italian player should be forced to have fluent English. Fluent.
I think that's a goal for many players.
I agree. I think a lot, but like
I think they're doing that anyways.
I don't think
Yeah.
none of them do interviews in English. None of them do nothing in English. We don't even know if they can speak English or not.
Well, that's because you're with Italian media.
But we don't know. Tonali joined and wasn't able to speak English.
Well, I
Barely
know
able to.
Calafiore's already doing interviews in English.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying it's,
But again,
it's not.
it needs to
It's
be-
every player.
Yeah, like you need to have a
Every player.
Bastoni come into the front of the camera, and it's Sky Sports, and they're asking him questions. He's able to answer. In
He
English.
can go play. Bastoni should not be. If you're 21 and you only speak Italian, you kind of feel forced to. Oh, I can kind of.
Really
My
have to
options
go.
are-
Donnarumma speaks
Like
English.
you need to.
Barely.
Donnarumma, I remember the video with the translator.
Yeah, he barely.
If you speak English, it broadens your horizon to so many more clubs for your
sure.
development. And also in Italy, you can appoint so many more coaches and have so many different ideologies involved because you have this. Italian is such a. The language could be used, yes, but it also holds you back that if you're using this one little language that only one country in the world or a couple countries in the world uses to communicate, you're restricting your pool. You need to broaden your pool, use English, and now the world's your oyster.
Yeah, I think we see it with like someone like Calafiori. He learned English probably because he wanted to have the doors open for,
Yes.
for an Arsenal, obviously.
And like I'm saying, like in this program, you would obviously have the
Facilities to do it.
well, obviously top of the line facilities, but you should have one game model also throughout the whole program, and all coaches are aligned on how to properly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
teach.
which is kind of like that system.
Yes.
The Clairefontaine, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's similar to the Clairefontaine one. It's more radical because you're only playing for that
Yes,
team,
no more clubs,
which is cool.
What scares me is the
iron
friendlies
sharpens
only.
iron. You're playing against the top of your age group every day. It's none of this. Usually on youth teams, maybe one is lucky to make it.
So you're-
all 23 of these motherfuckers are gonna make it. It's just iron sharpens iron. How
Yes.
good are you gonna be?
But my issue is that it remains that like let's say there's a promising left winger that's happening that's growing up in this program. He's touted from every Italian team, but then
He's not forced to stay in Italy.
okay, but let's say the Italian teams want him. Milan plays a 3-back, Juve plays a 3-back in this. Well, Juve don't. But let's say Napoli plays a 3-back, Inter plays
Then he
a
won't
3-back.
sign for you. If he's a winger, he won't sign for you. He doesn't fit tactically. That's his mistake. That's like saying U.S. men's development team program in the NHL. There's still busts that come out of there
do a
because
job.
Yeah.
it sometimes it doesn't fit. But if you're trying to sign a left winger to play second striker, you're kind of stupid.
But what if he does want to play for that team?
Then you're putting your personal preference over your career success.
The fatal flaw with this, Varvar, I just thought of it. I was thinking about it while you guys were talking, is The U.S. In hockey, the advantage is that colleges don't pay players, so you have no competition.
They do.
Well, now they do. The NCAA now they do.
Well, it's bullshit money. It's very small.
No, not anymore.
No.
The first year, yes, but not
Name, image,
anymore.
likeness, NIL.
But when this thing started, when all these players came out, Cole Caulfield couldn't have went to go get paid
Yes,
by a
that's-
university.
But right now, you go check. Last year in the first round of the NHL draft, I think like 12 were like U.S. men's national.
yeah, but they joined that program at 14 years old, which is 6 years ago for them.
Yes.
Or 5 years ago for them, when the alternative was not to go get paid in whatever.
No, this is not an alternative to college.
Huh?
It's not an alternative to college.
But a 16-year-old footballer, instead of playing for the Azzurri Calcio Association, he could go to Juventus Academy and actually get a contract.
Okay, but then you're not, once again, are you putting... This is also an issue.
No, but this is a player. This is a player to player, and you can't change the way players think. They want money.
In hockey,
They're broke,
in
some of them.
Sweden, in hockey in Sweden, you're not allowed to get an agent before the age of 18. Your decision should not be financially driven until a
That I
certain age.
completely
Yeah, but you
agree.
can't protect that in football because if in Italy
You
it's
can. It's illegal in Sweden.
okay, but how am I going to control Spain? How am I going to control France?
But in Italy, I'm worried about Italy, bro.
Yeah, but the guy at 16 years old, if he's scouted and if he gets scouted by Nice, okay, and at 16 years old they say come to our
But
academy, we'll pay you.
the way my
Versus
model,
Azzurri
the way-
Calcio, we're not
the
going to pay
way
you.
my model works is that I understand that Juventus could control a 16-year-old. Juventus should want to send that 16-year-old to the development program. It's the elite of the elite. Juventus and Inter and stuff, this is why I'm saying Serie A should pay for it, should be invested into this
But you're
program.
saying for these players to get loaned to Azzurri Calcio?
Yes. It's not a loan. It's not a loan. You outsource the development.
But so like, tell me how the process works from let's say Luca at 12 years old.
Yes, Luca at 12 years old. Well, whatever. I don't know which age specifically you would start at, but let's say 12 years old. It's controlled by Juventus,
Yeah.
whatever. And then let's say you have an age that you say 16 years old. The top 80 players or whatever go into like basically like a pool, and the
Okay,
coaches.
that makes more sense because he's still getting paid by Juventus.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
top 30, 40 or whatever get selected to this elite squad where every day they're training against the top of their age group. Players develop when they're in the crock pot. You have to put them in the hardest positions like every day. And then they're going to somehow get used to being in those hard positions. If you're playing against sometimes one player that might make it, whatever, you're not gonna develop into special. But if you're playing against the best of the best every single day, you're gonna develop.
Yeah, I also think like there needs to be some sort
Very
of regulation.
crazy
Yeah, it's
logistically in
crazy.
football to do this.
But there needs to be a relegation on agents. There needs to be a crackdown on bribes. There needs to be a crackdown
Yeah.
on the underbelly of this
It's
stuff.
so like
There was a Milan player that just came out. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I don't know where he is now, but he was a Milan
Not
youth
sure.
player. He was saying, "You guys don't know what happens behind the scenes. There's players
We've
that
heard stories about
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
we
we've
heard
heard it
it.
too. Where a little boost of 50K in there because
Yeah.
the agent says, "Play my guy," and then these players get left in the
It's all
dust.
money.
It's all about money.
But
So
also sporting directors who end up
taking it.
They're,
And they're the agents.
They're under the table. They're the agents of certain players.
Well-
So they play the players so that they can sell them and get a percentage.
They're a rotten cancer. They are a rotten cancer to the sport.
but government centralization allows you to control it more than privatized. Like
Yeah, tough.
like a Pescara youth academy is much easier to bribe than the government.
Yeah, Azzurri Calcio.
Yeah, the Hope. Our new
The Hope.
association, Azzurri Calcio. But
I don't know in Italy. You don't know, but like it's
it just in Varvar, there's a lot of issues. Like I love the idea. There's a lot of issues that will arise that you'll have to work around.
yes.
You have to tweak.
Because if let's say Juventus is playing their youth is paying their players, so like let's say this Azzurri Calcio has players from Pescara, Juventus, and Milan. Let's say Juventus is paying player A more money than Pescara's player. Well, now they're both going to the academy. They're both going to the same team, but one is getting paid more behind the scenes, like in his
like you don't know.
in his-
But that shouldn't matter in the development program. Like you can be getting paid more if the better players at Pescara he's gonna play.
Yeah, but in the U.S. things, it's like everyone's just a kid and there's no money. You know, like that helps. Like they're all just
Still-
kids.
there's
They're all
still
just kids
stuff
trying to
there,
prove
bro. There's still
themselves.
stories in hockey. The parents, and that's even a richer sport.
Yeah.
The parents still influence things. They put money on the table.
Well, I heard a story about when Jack Hughes played in the national team development program, and he's like a top player. That when he was so good, he was like a prodigy considered for his age. So when it was his turn to make the U.S. men's national team development program, the coaches were literally asking him like, "Who do you want on your team?" Like he had a decision at
Wow.
16 years old who he was gonna play with.
The Mbappe.
So
It's
he
insane.
picked Cole Caulfield. Cole Caulfield wouldn't have made the team if it wasn't for Jack Hughes.
That's
Wow.
kinda crazy though.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely there's like, I think we all have kind of the same idea in terms of like centralizing, consolidating, no loose fat, like just work, like start from the base and then work your way up. So
Yeah.
whether or not they do something like that remains to be seen. I think there's too many hands and too many pots for things to change that radically right away. But I mean, radical things need to be done for radical results. Right now, we're status
we're-
quo and we're falling behind.
Right. We're in the valley now.
And I hope that the owners see that. Listen, with Italy going down, your product goes down the drain. No one's gonna be watching. You're gonna lose money. You have to hit them where it fucking hurts. Hit them in their fucking pockets. You see that Italian youth are worth fucking nothing. Then you gotta fucking make sure that they're
Or
worth something. Invest.
the most valuable Italian winger. Can you guess who it is?
Right now?
Young Italian winger.
Oh, yeah.
Is he a
like
pure winger?
U21?
He's U23.
U23.
He's
Coleoshu?
yeah, he's a pure winger. No.
Along those lines, though?
Yeah.
I hope it's on Yonto still. Oh, it's Yonto still.
The most valuable U23 Italian winger is
Oh,
Nyonto.
shit. Yeah, him too. Like, he kind of had that pathway, but he completely fell off.
Because we don't have the systems that support him.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't have
no,
winger
also, like,
positions.
He's also not that good.
Yeah, he went to Leeds. Like he was all right, whatever. But
Yeah.
he's just not that good.
But Interproduct didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Well, he went to Switzerland. He's the most valuable one. He's the only one. He left to
He left.
Switzerland and then he went to England.
Yeah, so
And I mean, I don't know if you guys want to say it quickly, but who would you guys say should take over the
Mancini.
coaching? Mancini?
I don't care.
Four back, played well, and
I think I'm not a big fan of bringing back.
when it
Even
worked,
I-
he worked.
I don't think it
We
matters.
went 30 games undefeated with him.
I know it was really good, but
He played four back, played young players. Like I think
he did a lot of good. But I find his after the Euro situation was so bad.
If
that was
you're
like
not
Ravina
gonna
behind the scenes.
if you're not gonna do Mancini, I have a radical choice also. And obviously, it's so easy to say this, but if Pep leaves Man City, bro, throw the fucking bag.
I saw that.
a
Pep
lot of
would
people
never
are
join when you're 2 years off from a.
He played in Brescia. He's always in Italy.
No,
He
but
goes
I mean,
off
there's
to
no
Italy.
purpose. He would have to be locked down for 4 years before he gets his first chance at a World Cup.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
Carte blanche.
you give him carte blanche in terms of like everything, hand off everything.
That's
That would be really
that's
good.
one angle is like literally you bring in like a
you
guy
do
like
what Fabregas did at Como just in the
and
Italian national team.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that. If you can let Pep control everything.
You literally say fuck the bring in all Spanish coaches and just fucking let them play tiki taka.
It's not a bad idea. at the end of the day.
like I would do that.
That's
but I don't
better
think
than
they
what
would
we're
do that.
doing.
Yes.
Anything's better than what we're doing.
But
Us
then-
four being appointed as the presidents would probably be better than what's
But
happening
there's
now.
too much. Again, there's so many intrinsic factors, bro. Too much pride, too much nationalism.
But that's
too much,
why-
too much
you're
identity.
saying-
Yeah, but maybe a name like Pep Guardiola is good enough.
Moves the masses, yeah.
the
it should
Italians.
move the masses.
It's like
but you're gonna
Tuchel
have,
for England national team.
yeah, but you're gonna have pundits saying, oh, "What are we doing?" Like we're
No, I
not
think
Spanish.
it's pretty aligned that Pep is like.
Missed 3 fucking World
depend-
Cups, bro. Where we can't get any worse.
we have no.
Exactly.
Right now, if you appointed Pep, it would be like
We have no stock.
you would have no one opposing.
Yeah, I don't think.
I would
No,
hope
you would.
not. You
You
would.
would.
You would still
You would.
find.
I
you
would be
still
borderline
find-
opposed to just having the idea that there's a Spanish person as the Italian.
But it's not when it's
I
Pep.
could
If
care
it
less.
was like it
Yeah.
was like Xavi or okay, yes, 100%. But not
Pep
when
is
it's
like you're
Pep.
touching greatness, you know.
And he played in
But I would bring
Italy
him in.
and
I would rather bring him in as a fucking director as opposed to a
He
manager.
probably speaks Italian still.
I'm
so,
just
like,
he
against.
does.
I'm
So-
against that. For me, the 11 players on the pitch, as well as the guy on the sidelines, both have to be Italian. I said the same about Tuchel, so I'm staying consistent on that. Like, to me, a player or a manager, it's the same level of importance. They should all be from the country.
if the country's shit.
But then once again, you're
That's
restricting
the-
yourself to your pool.
Yeah, I know.
like
but that's
like
just-
in my development program, I would not restrict myself to Italian coaches solely.
Yeah.
Like you want the best coaches teaching your youngsters.
No, I'm just saying, grand. I have a morale or ethical dilemma of like, I just think they should like FIFA should force
Yeah.
every nation to have the coach from the
But
same
if
country.
it's not, then
yeah, if it's not, then
Free
get Pep
game
Guardiola.
situation.
yeah.
Well, like a Saudi coach, like what Saudi coach you're gonna get? What Qatari coach you're gonna get? Like those were
Yeah,
foreign
but
managers.
develop managers.
develop them,
I feel like
take time.
football is about developing managers as much as developing players. Like it's a part of the game.
Well, we had Coverciano for 50,000 years that were developing just managers, tactics, this philosophy. This is the school for the manager. Every
And then we
big
ended up
manager,
with 3-5-2.
and then we end up with 3-5-2. So
Like a left winger versus a manager, it's the same. It's a position on the pitch.
like I'm thinking about it now. Like I don't want Mancini back, but I mean, I don't like a Sarri.
What does it matter, bro?
I don't like an
One's gonna be
Allegri.
here for fucking 4
I
years.
I don't like an Inzaghi or a Conte. People are saying
No,
those
Conte
names.
maximizes your squad right now,
again,
but that's
don't
not
they-
the goal.
But that's not the goal because this isn't the squad we want to maximize. We want to maximize a
Yeah.
fullback. We want to
Pirlo.
maximize wingers. I wouldn't bring in a Pirlo either. So really,
Bring in someone that develops with. If you do a new system, then you got to bring a new manager.
But honestly, Mancini, he's always been kind of like ahead of the curve on a lot of things. Even when back in the day at Inter, he was ahead of the curve on these things. So,
Bro,
he's a
we're-
bit of an
we're-
he's not old school, but he's
There's no way we're turning our heads to a guy who won the Euros with this fucking shitty ass fucking nation.
It wasn't. No,
bro. The
during Euros, it
revisionism of that
wasn't
team,
bad.
bro. That's
Because it was
you
so
can't
well
say-
coached.
No, bro, that team was
the
good.
same team missed the World Cup 2
Oh, it
years
was a
before
perfect
that.
storm. It was a
Bro,
perfect storm with good players. though.
Donnarumma in
But
net.
he created the perfect storm.
Jorginho, I just want to fucking.
Bro, yeah.
Jorginho was
Champions
Jorginho,
League.
Verratti,
He put
Barella.
Jorginho on the Ballon d'Or podium, bro.
Chiesa,
No,
Chiesa
yeah,
was the
just
best
won
winger in the
Champions
world.
League with
Bro,
Chelsea.
Chiesa was the best
he
winger in the world. fuck,
maximized
playing.
that team to the.
It's true.
He pushed every pope out of that bitch.
Chiesa was a €100 million player
Bro,
at that
the
point.
guy was looking. People were looking at him like he's the next great fucking.
Yeah.
Chiellini,
Chiellini,
Why
Chiellini
is
and
that?
Bonucci.
What do you mean? Why is that?
Chiellini and
Because he
Bonucci,
played it.
all-timers,
All these
rested an entire
players.
season.
Bro,
to do
Yes.
that.
Mancini didn't tell Insigne
Bro,
to tira giri. He didn't tell him to tira giri.
stop acting like what Mancini did was not a godsend of a tournament.
It was
It was
great.
an underdog story. I agree, but
It
mind you, that game was
it
very
was
good.
one
Games
of the.
unbeaten.
It was one of the. But he was the coach for that.
Yes, so it wasn't a miracle that we won the Euros.
That team just missed the World Cup. Literally, what position
No,
we
they
are
didn't.
in right now? Yes, they did. They missed
It's
the
not the
World
same
Cup.
team.
2018.
You want me to find you the lineup?
Go find the 2018 versus
2018
2020.
team
It's
was
not that big of a difference.
Barzagli,
Which game should I look
Chiellini,
up?
you're talking about
Italy,
2016?
Switzerland.
Bro, Chiellini was there. Bonucci
Oh, no,
was
Italy,
there.
Moldova,
Donnarumma was
North
there.
Macedonia.
That
Like,
was the North Macedonia. I think
No,
it was
wait.
after.
No, it was Sweden.
Sweden.
2018.
bro, it was
Oh,
practically
Sweden.
the
That
same
was
team.
that was
That was an old
Ventura,
team,
no?
bro. That was Ventura, Marco Parolo,
Well, you had
Immobile,
you had
Candreva.
Insigne
Immobile
on
was
the
there.
bench.
We ended up winning with Immobile.
Insigne was on the bench.
He didn't really,
But once
did
again,
anything.
that's a bad coaching.
Yeah, it
like,
was horrible.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to just play Insigne at that point.
There's that
bro.
famous clip of De Rossi, the coach going up
Yeah.
to De Rossi telling him,
Why the fuck am I
go,
coming
go
on
on the
for it?"
field when we need a goal? And De Rossi's like, why am I going on the field? I'm a CDM.
He points to
There's
Insigne.
Insigne who's scoring fucking. I think
even
he had
in the
35
game-
G in the league at
And
that
I'm not
point.
sure if it was that game, but like Giaccherini was
yeah.
starting.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, he was
No, Gabbiadini started.
no, but I think one of the
No,
games-
Gabbiadini got subbed on.
Yeah,
I
got
think.
subbed on.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Giaccherini was the sub to Insigne at Napoli. Motherfucker started over him.
Yeah.
Motherfucker started over who starts over him
I remember
at
that.
Napoli. It's
Like
fucking
Mancini
ridiculous.
maximized that team to the fullest.
But he
But
had-
he also had a perfect storm again. Like Bonucci, Chiellini were on their last leg
legs.
saying, I need to win this. If I don't win this, my
But
legacy
you're
will
saying perfect storm. He's the one who creates the environment and
be. He did an
everything.
amazing job. That's like a
Bro, this is
9.5.
ass.
Which one?
I think this is
When he-
no,
The
this is not
Ventura
it.
one.
But
It was-
Belotti was starting. Il Gallo.
Bro, Candreva.
That guy was on the
this,
team.
This is the front five. But De Rossi started that game. This is the game we
no,
lost
this-
1-0.
This
No,
is
De Rossi got subbed on.
This is versus who? Switzerland?
This is
Sweden.
Sweden, 2017.
Sweden.
The qualification UEFA.
No, North
No, De Rossi
Macedonia.
was
No, North Macedonia was after that.
no. De Rossi was definitely on the bench.
Yeah, he was on the bench. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
It didn't seem. It didn't like. I swear we lost 1-0.
Yeah,
that
we
game.
did. Right?
Anyway,
So maybe it's this game. Yeah, maybe it's this game. Yeah, Candreva, Gabbiadini, Immobile, Darmian, Parolo, Jorginho, Florenzi in the midfield.
yeah.
My God.
Like that.
Barzagli,
The
Bonucci,
defense is
Chiellini.
good. That's the BBC and then Buffon.
Then Buffon, but
Bro, the front seven are fucking horrid.
I'm pretty sure the Sweden team did pretty good in the World Cup, no?
I
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Fuck do I care, bro?
Yeah, honestly,
Sweden.
I wasn't
Forsberg,
big- I
Larson.
wasn't not pocket watching them. Anyways,
Berg.
that reality of the fact is that, bro, missing 3 World Cups. If you don't do anything
embarrassing.
crazy, you don't do anything radical, then unfortunately you're not serious. These players need to leave Italy, and you deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a shame, man. It's a real shame.
It's a shame that no one they don't want to work together for a common goal because they're so self-interested and money hungry, and it's fucking ridiculous, man. Bro, it's ridiculous. It's
But
ridiculous.
last thing. Who does it take? who doesn't have a self-interest that can fix this aside from the president of the country?
Jesus Christ.
Like who? Because everyone's gonna have a self-interest.
I don't know, bro. Bring in more sponsors, maybe.
Who,
Maybe
like-
then they
like,
influence more. I don't know.
But it's
Like you know when when France put in the new system, when Germany put in the new system, who like headed it? Like that's what I want to know. Like how do we find the right council
England
to
was
head this?
Dan Ashworth, because I know because he ended up joining Man United, but he was one of the first technical directors in the country. I think he got appointed in like 2008 at West Brom.
How do you choose the right guy?
Dan Ashworth was like 40 at the time or 30. You need a revolutionary.
But who chose Dan Ashworth? Like
The FA.
the right, like that's the problem. Is the FIGC is going to put it together, but the FIGC is the problem.
But they can still appoint. It's not if they delegate to the right person. It doesn't matter.
They can't have self-interest. They can't have any ties to, like, a lot of the candidates that I saw were like nepotism.
Yeah.
All these guys were, their father was the head of this division.
Yeah.
The father was the head of that. The father was a senator.
I mean,
like, there's too many ties. There's too many fucking
we
ties.
didn't mention it, but like someone like Baggio didn't really come in with much self-interest. It was more about like trying to save something of
His
what
only
was
interest was
remaining.
the Italian team.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there are people out there like that. It's just
Release the Baggio files.
I don't
For real.
yeah, legit. I don't know if you would put him as president of the FIGC there, but I mean, like, he needs to have some, like, someone like that needs to have a role.
Baggio didn't write those 900 pages.
Bro, the Montreal Canadiens, our coach, literally got fucking appointed from Pee Wee hockey, and he's one of the best in the NHL just because you give him time and space to learn.
Well,
If they know that they're not the most experienced and shit like that, but they come in with fresh ideas, you give them the time to learn.
Our GMs are.
Our GM was an agent. He wasn't even. He wasn't systematic.
One was an agent, and
But
the
dumb
other
as it.
one was.
Dumb as it.
Bro, honestly, Kent Hughes as head of
Put
FIGC.
Kent Hughes
bro,
of the
it's not
FIGC.
that
I would
bad.
actually trust Kent Hughes more than I would fucking
Because
I
he
would
understood
teach him.
timing.
I would teach him about the Italian system. He would get it in a fucking week.
Bro, he understood timing, bro. He brought in St. Louis, and then the whole cycle started. Like, he timed everything perfectly.
I think you need like a consigliere from Spain and Portugal. Bring an advisor in. that
Honestly,
could advise.
Yeah, bring
Honestly,
out,
poaching a bunch of people like from different countries. You create like a little board, like a UN of the
Yeah.
fucking. Like I worked at Clairefontaine. I worked at the Bundesliga when I don't know what it's
The
called.
issue is that yes, but they all went about it different ways. So like
Different philosophies.
If you go and
ideas.
ask them for they'll never give you one concise answer. They'll just tell you what
having
they-
multiple
Yeah,
ideas
because I'd rather
helps you
those
shape yours.
Like let's say you get one from all the other four like big nations like of the leagues, Italy, Spain,
Yeah.
Italy, France, and Germany.
But-
and like you just ask them like he's gonna be like, oh, at Clairefontaine we did it this way. Okay, in the German league we did it this way. So I get all those four opinions, and I'm like, I have ideas. at
Yeah,
least.
but then you're not specializing in one lineage of development. Maybe you're taking too many ideas.
just saying
from too many different
advisors, like
places.
advisors. Like you just get them as people that just give you tidbits of information, and then I put together with my board.
Yeah. Just put us at the president's, bro, and call it a day.
Because everyone else is doing better than us.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Even like a Greece is doing better now. Like
the
in
thing is,
terms
I
of
don't.
talent coming out.
And they missed the World Cup too. So
I know, but like
Yeah, but
mean-
that could be like a lucky generation. None of those players developed in Greece.
it is true though. It takes
Well, actually, some of
one
them
golden
did.
generation and a lot could flip. We saw even England 2014, bro. They were in our same shoes. They were grouped.
they were worse.
They were
They were worse.
They
you
were
could-
pulling
you could
up
argue.
with, bro. There were some players I didn't even know their names.
Yeah. They were last in our group.
Yeah.
I remember it was
The Prem
Italy,
carried those-
England, Costa Rica, and
Prem
Yeah.
carried them back to greatness.
Yeah, I agree.
So one golden
But France,
generation
bro,
could change
France
a lot.
fucking.
They've been so
France is
consistent.
over.
France
France
was France was
Well, no, during-
South Africa World
Yeah.
Cup
Yeah,
and
they
shit,
were
bro. They were really bad,
Yeah.
really
after-
bad.
Like they
France
had
is the
a
only nation
8-year
that's gotten
period.
better historically.
They had an 8-year period
Spain.
where it was kind
Spain
of
got
just a
better.
little
Portugal.
low.
I don't think Spain got
Portugal
better.
a lot
Bro,
better.
Spain was inevitable in the mid 2010s.
No, but I'm saying before 2000, Spain wasn't
Yeah.
really.
yeah, they were no one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Portugal is a good shout because
We're gonna end this podcast now because
Yeah. This is a fucking
we can
sick
talk about
podcast.
this
But this
for-
topic was never for this topic was never for the
The
like
time
masses,
constraint, but,
for the time constraint.
yeah.
It was just for if you care enough
A
and we
rant.
care enough.
Yeah.
Last question. You guys have hope.
I have hope. Yeah.
always hope.
I need to see more. Until
just-
until
I will never. The good thing about sports is that you always get hope, no matter how
Yeah.
down you are.
Just sad for.
It's you're either a gambler. Some people gamble. Some people gamble with hope.
I'm an optimist. I'm always an optimist.
I saw someone quote tweet. I don't know if you guys saw the quote tweet where it was like they quote tweeted the clip. It said Mili since the Barca tie.
Yeah.
And it was this guy's life is in hell.
Depression, anxiety, depression.
It's actually funny.
There's never hope in sports, bro.
Producer to you. Hope. Holy voice crack. You have hope. Hope.
Holy
injected.
optimist, bro. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy it, bro.
Episode
Let us know
104.
your thoughts.
How long was that?
Pod.
Almost 2 hours.
As per, bro.
That's
Light work.
fine.
Light
Could
work.
have done another.
done more
Could have done
low-key.
another two if I really
Had
wanted.
more of me.
I low-key had more in me.
Yeah.
We didn't even get into which manager we want.
I know, bro.
It's
The
not about
players
that.
of the squad we really didn't get into.
True. Huh?
It's not about that.
Not about the trouble, bro. These players
Take care,
are
everyone.
players.
Hope you guys enjoyed this midweek. And
Peace out.
well, podcast. We'll see you on Monday.
Grazie, sì, sempre.